All right, welcome to another episode of Bussin' with the Boys. This is our football weekend recap. As always, we are sponsored by the #1 sportsbook in America, the FanDuel Sportsbook. And right now, we've got a spicy one tonight, boys. The Chiefs and Jags.
Now listen, FanDuel's got two options for you. Crack open the app and see for yourself. Choose your own reward. 150% same game parlay profit boost token or 130% profit boost token on any type of bet.
So how you feeling? Do you love the Jags at +3? The boy Will does. Willie C does.
I don't.
Use the 30% profit boost token and juice those winnings. But maybe you're feeling a little freaky. It is Spooktober, and Spooktober's got you a little antsy. You're thinking it might be time to lock in with the boys. Grab that 50% boost and ride with us and our same game parlay.
Listen, we got Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown. We got Travis Etienne, anytime touchdown. Trevor Lawrence, 170 yards plus alt passing yards. Patrick Mahomes, 200 plus alt passing yards. That juicy parlay is plus 736.
Make your pick, Taylor parlay. Cook up a same game parlay and share it with your boys. Just hit fanduel.com/bussin to get after it. We have a loaded episode
show
today. We're going to be talking college football.
Loaded.
We have
absolutely loaded.
We got on.
People said this is the greatest. This is the greatest college football show we've ever seen.
Kalen DeBoer. He calls into the boys. We have a great interview
Greg
with him.
Olsen, friend of the show.
He also tunes in. We talk NFL ball, but a loaded football show today. Where should we start? Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I had a pretty solid weekend on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
But
I had a solid weekend.
Hey, let's go a little wiggle there. A little clap for Will.
Thank you.
Little clap for Will.
Fun weekend. Good weekend.
I put in a couple of little bets before I got on a plane to go to Las Vegas, Nevada. I had myself a nice little weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Fun times all around. College football, let's get to the spiciest, juiciest game of the entire weekend. UCLA at home.
I'm looking at you. I'm like, which one's he going to talk about? You got Alabama, Vandy.
Yeah, but I'm thinking
Cincinnati, Iowa State. I've been trying to tell everybody about Cincinnati.
A lot of great games out there. Nothing was more confusing to the public eye than UCLA Penn State. And for me, it's like I'm pretty sure UCLA is having the most confusing year of our entire life. This is a top 10 football team that travels to them. There's zero life with UCLA. They have nothing going. What we got going?
We got more coffees.
More coffees.
I didn't know if you needed it.
Eighth and roast.
I mean, this is my third
we'll
coffee
double
of
it
the
up.
day. Yeah,
we are on caffeine and nicotine
right
heavy.
We got this right here. I'll take this last one. You go ahead and that box over there to JP. UCLA, right? Dead.
You coming on? We're talking college ball. You don't have to. I just,
Yeah. UCLA, they're dead, right? They're 6 feet under. The body is cold. It's over. Nico, we're already
made the worst decision of his life.
Made the worst decision ever. They lose to UNLV. UNLV spicy 5-0 right now. Don't be disrespecting UNLV, Taylor. And then Penn State has a tough overtime loss to a now top 3 team in college football. And they have to travel to what is maybe one of the worst teams in all of college football. And Nico goes off. 3 rushing touchdowns, two throwing touchdowns, and they beat James Franklin. So
off of 2 days to prepare.
2 days to prepare.
The interim head coach, does somebody want to say his name in the microphone?
I don't know. Isn't it like Neuheisel or something?
I don't know, but Electric Factory.
Electric Factory. His blonde, beautiful hair waving in the wind.
Looks a lot like J.D. Pickell.
He does look a lot like J.D. Pickell.
Tim Skipper.
Okay.
That
wasn't him. That's not him.
That's not him.
Neuheisel's the OC. Yeah,
Jared Neuheisel's the OC.
Yeah,
Neuheisel.
Skipper's in her.
Dude,
his post-game press conference, too, was incredible.
And him just picking up, hugging his wife after the game. Dude, it was such a feel-good moment. His old man's in studio. He's doing some TV, and he's just locked in
Was it CBS?
at the end of the game. Yeah. Like, watching all of it, it was really cool.
It was beautiful, dude.
And again, 2 days to prepare, bro. You got Penn State coming into it, pretty much a dead football team. You fire your head coach, all of it.
Yeah.
And to come out, get a win, hang up 40 something on Penn State.
Crazy. Drew Allard's doing a post-game press conference. They're saying, "Are you guys still in the playoff hunt?" And he gets pissed. He goes, "What'd you think?" I don't know. I'm asking you.
They're
yes.
not.
Have you seen James Franklin's Twitter?
Bro, I saw James Frank. I saw the tweet. I'm going to just honestly assume that somebody's running his Twitter profile.
Because if you go through his page, it's like kind of the same thing each week.
Yeah.
But the back-to-back tweets are, one of them, right before the game, it's the Penn State hype video, and it just says UCLA, 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 hashtag we are. The very next tweet. Game week, let's do this together and go 1-0, Nittany Nation. Northwestern, Northwestern, Northwestern.
Yeah, buddy. We got
And the comment, he has 1.4K replies.
Look, hey, you're getting some engagement. That's
Yeah.
it. I guess that's what your social media manager can tell you, but you got to figure out that profile. You can't. That's tough.
I can't wait to hear Josh Pate's thoughts on James Franklin. This locker room.
He probably
this
has.
coming
He
up.
probably has him out. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I look at the pulse of Penn State, it's like you got to fire him.
Yeah.
That's the pulse of Penn State now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Willie C. I don't know. I'm worried about my Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I got a
Talking about the
question for you,
pulse of
Will.
Penn State fans.
Yeah,
What?
I think there's a lot of I think a lot of fans would agree with you.
yeah, bro. I saw all the videos of the sad boy Penn State fans coming out. Like it's
Davey, you guys know Davey. Davey is not happy.
Hey, Mitch, do you
Davey's
think
not happy.
Davy's not happy.
the DM saga you had with one of the
Yeah.
assistant coaches for Penn State?
Some would say that was the start of the downfall.
That was the stat of the down. Maybe Mitch Carsley and this coach that will not be named is the reason why Penn State's not having the success they should be having.
Some would say.
Bussin with the boys, to give a little context, Bussin with the boys was trying to go out there for the Oregon Penn State game. It was up in the air for us. We didn't know if we were going to go.
We didn't know
or
if we wanted to go, but we want to know if there was an option to go.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah. And get kind of, get
Yeah.
behind the scenes. Get
And
on
Mitch
the
had a
sidelines,
little,
stuff like
he had
that.
an in. He knew a guy because of a situation. I'm not going to give too many details
Yeah.
because then people can kind of follow that bouncing ball a little bit. He reaches out. And this guy, I'll let Mitch speak for, Mitch is salty about the situation.
Yeah, he knows a coach there.
Yeah.
I know a coach there. Great relationship with said coach.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I thought I had a great relationship with that coach.
Right.
And he kind of patted you on the head in the DMs.
right.
Nothing.
Like we do it a little bit differently here at Penn
nothing
State.
casual about that.
Something.
I'm definitely doing it differently.
It was, yeah. It was so bad that Mitch came up to, I'm assuming you as well, but came up to me and was like, is this like, what do I do with this? I'm like, buddy, I would just back up.
Yeah.
I would look at that and be like, I'm going to get the hell out of here and ninja smoke myself out of that situation.
That's why I was SCO Ducks all stream.
Sco Ducks.
Oh, that's tough, dude. Because, hey, Penn State, it would be so sick to see one of those wideouts. It'd be so sick to check out the facilities, talk to the coaches, because that's a good ball club. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the season.
That's a blue blood ball club.
That's a blue blood ball club.
And we've been to some schools that are like, there's no way you're able to go there. Like Notre Dame, we have
Right.
a great relationship with Notre Dame now. And like you,
It's over for him.
Buddy, hey, hold on now.
Look at the schedule.
They got Nebraska on there.
They do have Nebraska.
Yeah, but they got Ohio State. They got Indiana.
Look, yeah.
Iowa.
They got, Ohio State, Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska. Rutgers ain't no slap.
And
No.
honestly, based on the UCLA game, I know we're all going to overreact. There's obviously going to be a course correction with Penn
Nothing
State.
better than overreacting on a Monday.
But Northwestern's no longer a guaranteed win. Iowa's no longer a guaranteed win.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Husker fan right now,
Oh, but
you're sitting there going, 11-1 is on the table.
it's on the table.
It's on the table.
We have a big one this week against Maryland. Maryland is no sleepwalk. Not even a sleepwalk.
No,
Like,
and you have to
is a
go
team-
to Maryland
Yes,
as well.
Yeah.
That-
Maryland was up 20-0 on Washington.
Yes.
20-0.
And then 28
Washington-
unanswered.
24 unanswered.
24
They end up
unanswered,
winning.
excuse me.
Maryland covers 5 plus 5.5, but they're up 20-0.
Right.
And then 24 unanswered by Washington to lose that game. Maryland's a tough football team.
Essentially, this is what's happened for Nebraska. They go to a nice 5-star restaurant. They have a budget in mind, and they see something that's really expensive on the menu. They go, man, I wish I could have that, but I can't have that. Because of Penn State, they can now afford that. They say, you know what? I might have that little T-bone. I might have that tomahawk steak.
Yeah, we do have a tier talk here from Mr.
Reginald.
Reginald.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
a
Reginald.
common name.
Reginald Sadek. Has the percentages of Matt Rule to Penn State risen, given his 3-year stint history and James Franklin's unsettling waters? Something to keep in mind. Hashtag tier talk. Why'd you put this tier talk up?
Hey,
There
that's a good
doesn't
question.
need to be any speculation. Matt Rule is a Husker for life.
For
Matt-
life.
There is a
Penn
rumor.
State
that-
alumni.
I've heard a couple rumors that Matt Rule salivates at the idea of a Penn State job.
Listen, I'm aware of
I've
that.
heard
I'm aware
that
of that.
this man, Matt Rule, and hey, friend of the show, love Matt Rule. I've been on House Rules. There's rumors flying around that Matt Rule has that one up, and he's like, if that job was available, I would love to go that way.
Could you
I
imagine?
also heard that Dylan Raiola loves blue and white.
I was just gonna
I
say.
heard that Emmett Johnson loves Will. I heard Holgerson's like, could you imagine being a Nittany Lion? What do you think about that, Sherm?
I will say, don't worry about Sherm. I will say, could you imagine
Don't worry about
if
Sherm.
the heart just gets ripped out of all of our chests? Coach Rule,
All of our chests.
Raiola.
Yeah. I will say this. This is all. Holgerson will be the number one dagger. I'll say this. If that happened, I would be so sad. I would.
Look, it'd be tough times, but I feel very confident.
Well, look, it's not happening right now.
It's not.
It's not happening
Would
right
we
now.
would we go to a Penn State whiteout if that happens?
Oh, we'd have a
We
yeah.
would have free reign.
Could you imagine Matt Rule takes the job at Penn State?
Could you imagine all you guys going out to Penn State?
Text Matt Rule, and Matt Rule's like, we're the Penn State Nittany Lions. We're actually going to focus on our program. We don't allow outsiders in here. Hey, enjoy your Huskers. And pats Will on the head.
That's bullshit,
Oh,
boys. You
It
guys
seems
are
like
being
there
very
would be
mean
a,
right now.
a higher chance for him to go there if y'all do go 11-1.
Coach Eckler goes with him too.
Coach Eckler would for sure go with him.
Listen, that ain't happening. We got
If you guys go,
we got something coming to
That-
light.
is the
Maryland
move,
this
And
week.
is the
we got
move for
Maryland
Nebraska
this
to go 8-4 this year? So Rule
That keeps
stays.
him.
That keeps him.
If in this hypothetical world that happens, that is we need to check on Will if we don't see anything from him within 12 hours on Twitter. That is like we need to drive to Will's house, make sure everything.
Oh, buddy, Matt Rule takes
Listen,
the
I'll
job
be
at Penn
fine.
State. I'll be at his house.
Will won't be there. Will be in Lincoln.
I'll be there.
Interviewing.
I'll be sleeping over for the next week and a half. I'll be helping put down Rue and Scotty and be like, Charo, you help him. I'll take care of the kids. That's what's happening.
If Rule does hypothetically take the Penn State job,
He's not taking it.
Are you
No, we're talking
going,
about hypothetically.
Are you interviewing for the head coach job at Nebraska?
I would, listen. I would
Hypothetically.
I would have a learning curve getting to that level. But let's just say hypothetically, I know everything there is to know about being a head coach. Absolutely, I'd be trading in a microphone for a whistle, and then I'll carry on the legacy. Destiny would, this would be destiny.
I think at the very least, you'll be in the room of the interviews going on for the next head coach.
Yeah, have to.
On the side of Nebraska, like, is this somebody we want to bring in?
Yeah. Listen, Coach Rule's not leaving.
We can still do Bussin. Rule does a podcast.
I'll tell you this. You guys are bringing up hypotheticals. Will and I have had the conversation if Will goes and coaches at Nebraska. We have a plan in place.
Basically,
have a
just
pl- we have a
look
plan
at,
in
look
place.
at the Deion Sanders formula.
I'm just letting you guys know. Will and I have talked about it. Bussin will be just fine.
Are we moving to Lincoln?
No,
You guys, honestly,
absolutely not.
You now have me wanting to call Coach Rule.
Yeah.
Just,
Let's get up.
hey, I know I was congratulating you yesterday, but I
do
forgot
you,
there was something that kind of went over my head.
Hey, people have been talking about you going to Penn State. Like, Will, who's been saying that? Taylor.
There, but listen, I actually did hear the Penn State rumor.
I didn't pull this
out of my ass.
Tweets I kind of saw.
It was pulled out of somebody's ass and given to me.
Where did you hear it?
I'm not saying that.
Can't burn your source.
I'm not giving my source,
Oh, no.
but I'll tell you, very reliable. Very.
Guy told him about Brock Purdy.
Listen, we'll cut this. Cut this. Cut this. Cut
We don't
this.
have to. We don't have to. We don't have to.
Yeah, we
Cut
can talk
this.
about
We
it
don't have
after.
to say it.
We just talk about it after.
I want to hear though.
Say it after.
Say it after.
Say it after.
All right. All right.
Listen, we all know it's going to be. We got Maryland this weekend. Bad week to be a Terp.
For now, you and Matt rule at Maryland this weekend.
Yeah.
For now,
House divided.
house rules.
House divided.
Hey, this is a great tier talk right here coming from our boys at Huskers SG. Store this one. The boys jeered at you last week for saying Sorsby at Cincinnati was a good quarterback. Since his 69-yard, 0 touchdown, 1 interception performance against the Black Shirts, the last 4 games he's put up 1,188 yards, 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and has them tied for first in the Big 12 conference.
Hell yeah.
Tier talk.
Hey, Will Compton was right about Cincinnati. Those are dogs out there.
No question.
And everybody in college football
No question.
is looking at Cincinnati right now and being like, who's their win-loss to? Because they're dogs. It's Nebraska. You know who sees that more than anybody? The Penn State Nittany Lions are seeing that and being like, oh my God, that defense. Matt Rule over there. They're killing it. So yeah, I agree. It's very impressive that the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Hey.
Oh, since he's a good ball club.
That's a good
I
ball
know
club.
we're doing things that kind of take it off the subject of how well the Cincinnati Bearcats have been playing. But to beat Iowa State the way that they beat Iowa State, they did have 2 cornerbacks out. We were aware of that going into the weekend.
Yep.
But handling Rocco Becht, and again, like, bro, Sorsby, He is a hell of a player, bro. And that running back. Yo, did you see him trucking old buddy number 14
Yeah,
from
I
Iowa
straight to
State?
the head.
Don't want to say his name because we're not about that. It's just numbers on a jersey. But 14 out there getting mollywopped.
Dude, I tweeted that video, just said, "Dear God," somebody responded and said, "Most guys can only bend at the waist. This guy can now bend at the chest." Like,
and then
that
later in the
was-
game, he gets ran over again.
you got to quit. You got to quit. That's a Lewan Week 1 2021 game for him.
We're back from our Mario Cristobal interview, and again, that's coming out tomorrow on Tuesday. Today we got Coach Kalen DeBoer, Greg Olsen, as we told you, joins the show, and then tomorrow we're going to be talking some fantasy football with Field Yates, and we also got an interview with Mario Cristobal, which is a phenomenal listen. So go ahead and check that out when that drops tomorrow.
I'll tell you what, Will, you had your headphones on, and as you were talking, I was like, I'm going to put mine back on too. It's kind of nice.
It is. You kind of hear your voice. You kind of hear the volumes of everything.
Yeah, it's a good deal. It's a
Yeah.
good, solid deal. We were, before we got that interview going with Cristobal, talking about Nebraska, the possibility, the high likelihood of Matt Rule going to Penn State. But for now, Matt Rule is in Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's incredible. I see a tweet from Will Compton Saturday after the Nebraska-Michigan State game. It was never in question, I believe, was the direct quote.
Zero doubt.
Zero doubt.
That was in my video.
I see Will at the meet and greet as I just landed from Vegas, and he goes, got a little dicey there for a little bit. So what is your true thoughts about that game, Nebraska and Michigan State?
It was in the video. There was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to take that football game. It was more of acknowledging the fact that all of Husker Nation, and listen, you've been with the program now, seeing the last decade and everything else. It had a feeling in the middle of that game when Michigan State went up 21-14, because we got 14 on them quick. We scored quick. We had a 3-and-out and then a block punt to take it to the end zone. Shout out Coach Eckler. Happy birthday to Coach Eckler.
Happy birthday, Coach Eckler.
But it seemed like we were just going to mop this team out of the stadium. And then it got weird for a moment. Michigan State goes on to hang 21 unanswered. You're sitting there toward the middle of the third quarter, and I know everybody had that feeling in their gut of like, oh my God, like, is this about to happen? Because that's just the feeling you get.
Right. You've been through it so many times.
You've been through so many times where it's like, it's about to happen again. Like, this Husker team finds a way to lose that game. And for Raiola, for all the boys to kind of have that poise, put the, pedal to the metal and score 24, come back and score basically 24 unanswered before Michigan State gets a garbage touchdown at the end of the game. That feeling was there for a moment. But once they put the foot on the gas, man, and went, it's like, the new standard understands how important of a win that was to find a way to win like that. Because the decade previously, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You end up losing that game. You end up soiling yourself. You end up crumbling because, again, Raiola throws a pick to where he wants that one back, kind of takes a sack where he says, that one's on me. You kind of waiting to see how this team's going to respond, and they responded in a big way. Because, again, I felt like that game should have not been close. Obviously, that's my fandom talking, but even watching that game and understanding the Huskers, it's like, it shouldn't have been as close as it was, but it was. That feeling, that pit in our stomach was starting to boil and starting to be there. But then once you get the perimeter screen, they muff a kickoff. We get on it, perimeter screen to the house.
Really took all three phases.
Yeah, no, that was a big three-phase win. That was a big three-phase win. And again, it's like people are like, you're gonna find out this weekend how good Childs is. And it's like we've made every talented quarterback look pretty mediocre going against his past defense.
Childs is he's very talented for Michigan State, and I get what the Nebraska fan base is going through with, like, every year has kind of been like find a way to lose, and you get to this year, the year 3 of Matt Rule, and everyone's like, this is year 3 of Matt Rule with 10-win season. We're gonna have all these things, but when you get in these situations, you can't help but go back in your tummy and be like, I remember what it feels like in these games of the past. So it's good to see Nebraska taking those steps and handling business in all 3 phases.
Yeah. And then you see what Penn State does out in UCLA, and it's like, buddy.
Can't sleep on Maryland, though.
We will not sleep on Maryland. That's a tough football team, but you can't tell me that you're still not looking at a potential 11-1 season.
No doubt.
It's there for us. Just got to take advantage of it.
How did Michigan do? Yeah, I'll answer that. I thought Michigan, coming out of the bye week, it seemed a little sluggish at first against Wisconsin, but overall, I was actually very happy with the result of the game. The first drive, Wisconsin goes down. We're sending a lot of blitzes. Martindale sending a lot of blitzes. A lot of the middle of the field there's a lot of vacated areas that they're kind of dinking and dunking and moved down the field relatively easily, and scored But no, Wisconsin hadn't put on film that they can throw the ball very well. So I think Martindale's like, we're just going to get to the quarterback right away. You see the in-game adjustments that happen because after that first one, they really didn't have a lot of success on the offensive side of the ball. What fired me up a lot about this game is this kid right here, Donovan McCulley. He had like 126 yards, 4 or 5 receptions, like had a coming out game. The passing game for Michigan took a big step, still had multiple drops, which just bums me out, man. But it's one of those things like you just got to, you keep firing. Don't run away from the pass game because you want these guys to get as many reps as they possibly can, have them on the jugs. The run game looked good. Like Wisconsin, as bad as their record is, they're the number 1 run defense in all of the country. And we still rushed for over 100 yards. Justice Hayes still had 2 touchdowns. He had a 40-yard run as well. I was very impressed. Bryce Underwood, I think he took a next step. He had a couple of great deep balls, put him in the position that only the wide receiver could catch it. Our defense showed up in a big way after that first drive. So I got excited about seeing that. This is going to be a big test coming up with USC.
Yeah, how you feel about going out to USC this weekend? They're coming off a bye week, tough loss against Illinois.
Tough loss against Illinois, coming off a bye week. Their quarterback is playing awesome. Their wide receiver, he's going to be a top 10 pick, that Lemon kid. And then their running backs as well. They have 2 running backs that are really good. What I like is there's a formula out there to beat USC, and it plays in favor of Michigan. It's running the ball, controlling the clock, and using these shorter intermediate passes when you don't want to use the run game. That Illinois showed it. Brett Bielema showed this is how you beat USC. Yeah. Now here's the issue. You got to go across the country, which we've shown can be a lot of issues for people, except for Oregon. We have to go to LA. That game 2 weeks ago was announced that it's sold out. I can only assume that the Maize and Blue is going to show up in a big way. So it'll be, other than the Oklahoma game, that's going to be the biggest test of the year for us to find out who we really are. And so for USC, like I'm really looking forward to this game. Right now, Michigan is 2.5-point dogs. I looked at it yesterday. They're 2.5-point dogs. I'm excited. I think we have a really strong run game. Our offensive line didn't play well last week. That's going to be a vocal point. And after the last 2 years, when you see the offensive line not play well, they tend to really step it up the next 2 weeks after that. So I'm excited about a good statement win here. I'll obviously be taking money line Michigan. I'm fired up. I just want to see this pass game continue to do what it's doing. It gets to get rid of the drops. And that pass game, buddy, got me juiced the fuck up.
Did you guys have more drops in the Wisconsin game?
Yeah. Yep. Samaj had one. Bredesen had one right over the middle. There was a couple, and it was like a couple like third downs where it was like in the chest. Now, it's not always the receivers. Like Bryce does rocket balls, like check downs. He throws 100 miles an hour. And it's like, I get it. They're in the position to be catchable, but buddy, we're throwing rockets at our boys every once in a while. Get a little touch on it. I think Joe Klatt said this, like, Bryce Underwood is a great thrower of the football. His next development is becoming a great passer of the football. Understanding his change-ups, knowing when to throw rockets in the tight coverages, and also when to put a little off of it so it's even more catchable for your guys so they can get vertical. But buddy, I'm excited.
Now, Chef, on y'all's teams, Nebraska and Michigan, Chef really wanted to propose this question to you guys. If y'all wanted to read his tweet.
Okay, so this one's from @Jack_Hanning, #Tier Talk. True or false? Texas Tech is good enough to beat any team in the nation.
And that was his follow-up question down below.
Does it look like his follow-up question?
Could they beat?
He asked me. He did. We can verify.
Well, any team in the nation includes Michigan and Nebraska.
That is true.
Yes, that's what he wanted to hear.
Dude, I'll say this about Texas Tech. Like this fan base, looking at Texas Tech, their schedule, everything else, the way that they performed, I mean, they're beating teams by at least 24 points right now. They are in position to be 12-0 throughout the regular season. Now, like, again, whenever Texas Tech plays, people not give Texas Tech the nod because they have the Big 12 conference logo next to them. So it's like time will tell once they get into the playoff. But I think you're 12-0 and you're Texas Tech, the way that they've been beating these teams, they're not going to be a team you want to see in the playoff because that D-line,
it's crazy.
Goes nuts, bro. Offensively, very good. Like they went on the road and beat Utah at Utah and Houston. Both teams play some good football, and Texas Tech have handled them. So I think right now it's like, could they beat any team in the country? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Why can't they?
I think so. I mean, you saw a couple weeks ago against Utah, the Texas Tech's starting quarterback goes out and they still won like 34-10 or 14, whatever it was. Like, And that's two teams that were both ranked in the teams. I think it was like 16, 15. So they went away. They handled business there. It is the Big 12. And I think if anybody's going to give Texas Tech or give the Big 12 this is a legitimate conference that you have to worry about, it's going to be Texas Tech. When I was in Vegas this weekend at UFC, there was a massive Texas Tech donor that was there that was talking to me about their club, how they have a board of people that are analyzing data on players for the transfer portal. They obviously I think they spent the most money this year in the transfer portal. They are national championship or bust. That is the feeling. Is it Arlington? That's where
It's in Lubbock.
In Lubbock, Texas. It is national championship or bust there. That's what this booster was saying.
During the broadcast with the Houston game, they highlighted this one of the boosters, Cody Campbell, I think his name is, and like
oil.
Yeah,
gotta be
like energy something. He's the guy that kind of like spearheaded all, and he said that they were saying like whatever that booster community is like raised like $62 million in 1 year, and like all for NIL stuff. So like
you hear that, Larry Ellison? You hear that, Dave Portnoy? Let's get going, boys. All right, let's get going.
They're not messing around.
They're all in. Texas Tech is all in.
All in.
And right now it's showing.
JP, I saw you point at me. I donated $50,000 to the NIL collective at Michigan. So did you.
What are you talking about?
So did you. So did Sherm. So did Mitch. So did Will. We're active. We're active with Michigan NIL right now. Active.
$50K to Texas Tech though.
That ain't nothing.
Listen, this dude, you're talking about oil tycoons over here. I'm a general studies major that happen to be good at football. There's levels to this shit.
And good on the tables.
Okay, my next Vegas trip, I will donate 50% of my winnings to Michigan NIL.
Whoa.
50%.
That's big.
You heard it here first. And that is the classic me where I just spontaneously say something. So now I have to do it. Because I wasn't thinking about that at all. And I just randomly said it. So now I have to do
I
it.
tried to give you an unsure look of like, are you sure you want to say this?
I know. And then listen, my brain doesn't think. My brain speaks, then thinks.
This will be clipped out, and this will be.
Next time I go to Vegas, 50% of my winnings, if I win, never a guarantee, will go to the Michigan NIL collective.
You just double down.
Yeah, I have to now. I'll triple down if you want me to. I'll do it on Wednesday at the locker room. I'm going to do that again. I'll be there in December.
Respect.
That's a great tax break.
Yeah, gotta be, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of Vegas, we have a tier talk here from Felipe J with a bunch of numbers. Hashtag tier talk. Why doesn't Taylor just bet on Vandy to win the SEC championship? For when they do, he will have the trip already paid for.
Because I knew this past week would eventually happen. Next question.
So you're saying Vandy's done? They don't have a shot to win the SEC?
No, I think they have. They obviously have a shot and everything. What Alabama told me was, all right, I'm safe. Like Alabama might not be the best team in the country. I think Vandy makes it in the playoff. I think they get spicy. Brother, I'm talking out of a state of fear right now. Yeah. So like everything I'm saying, grain of salt. If you're a Vanderbilt fan, like just know I'm afraid for my wallet. But we saw what happened this past week. Well, that's all I'll say.
I think Vandy kind of lost that game with a pick and a fumble in the red zone.
Yeah, the product they put on the field, yes, they lost. They lost that game because they didn't play as good as what you're telling me.
Okay.
Right? I mean, right?
Nothing fixable.
No, yeah.
No film to look at. Be like, a couple of these plays go your way in the game.
I mean, they were up. They had 100 yards rushing in the first half. They were up 14-7 at one point away in Alabama. Like they could have absolutely won the game. And you're right. Like a pick, a fumble here and there. Like a couple of plays go a different way. Absolutely.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like Vandy lost that game. I feel like more than Alabama won it.
Oh. Taken away from the Tide.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
This is the same episode that he was just on. He was on here 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Bama's a great ball club, but I think Vandy, like, again, hypothetically, if those things don't happen,
right.
I think that game could have been a lot more spicy than what it was.
Possibly, but a great team also takes advantage of bad football.
You got to give a lot of credit to Alabama because everybody and their mother said they were, including us in the show, being like, I think it's over for them. I think it's done, and they've really turned it around.
I'm also saying I think Vandy deserves some credit.
I absolutely agree. Like they're 5-1.
They could win out and it wouldn't be surprising.
No, it wouldn't. But who they
somebody took Alabama to cover on this bus.
Yeah,
deep water game.
I got a money line every week.
All right. Oh. Parker Heikey at Coach Heikey. We can all agree Arch is just young and inexperienced. A ton of hype and pressure put on him because of his last name, but the frame is there and just needs to build it up. Is the frame there and just needs to build it up? I'm all for horns down, not to hate.
You want me to read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm all for the horns down, not hate. Hate to see, or wait.
Do you want me to read it?
I'm all for horns down. I'm all for horns down. Hate to see a young guy get ripped because of expectations Jabrons put on him. Maybe he's looking for jabronis there. Hashtag Tier Talk. Parker Hockey.
We can agree. We can agree.
Friend of the show.
We can agree that was a tough read, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tough read.
All
That's
right.
why I had to take over.
Yeah.
Harder reads.
And then you started doing this. It's like you put the backup quarterback in. He has the same results.
That's right, but you sit in the pocket. You kind of see what they're trying to say, and then you deliver.
Yeah, and then you're like, you see it from that side. You're like, yeah, you got the clipboard. All right, then you go in there. Oh, it's the same result right there. Here's what I'll say.
Okay.
That was just a play calling issue.
That was a play. Yeah, that was a play calling.
Taylor's a caged animal right now.
I am, dude.
Yeah, look, I think Texas is just, and look, I'll hand up. I think on the locker room preseason, I was talking about both Penn State and Texas pretty much being in the national championship game, and I think we both see that was an absolute fail. I think Texas, they let us down, bro.
Yeah.
Not let us. I think Texas is just not who we thought they were going to be going into the season. You go in and like Florida exposed a lot of things defensively, which I'm pretty disappointed in the Texas defense. I thought they would still have a pretty good game. I thought Florida came out with a game plan and they operated in a way to where I'm sitting there kind of yelling at the TV like, how can Florida not play like this weekend? This is the Florida team I've been betting on against LSU, against who else did they play after that? Miami.
Their fans have to be so pissed.
Bro,
they got to be confused more than anything.
Right.
Like they're in an abusive relationship with Billy Napier right now.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to save them.
Yeah, exactly. They're sitting therapy sessions like, why does he keep doing this? Why does he keep doing it? Like, I think he's a bad guy. Then he goes and buys me this nice jewelry. I think we're good.
You're happy that you won, right?
Yeah.
but-
I'm happy, but like, why can't you do that all the time? What about USF? That was in the past. Don't worry about USF. I agree. Like, I feel bad for Arch Manning, and I don't want to like be so critical of him where it seems like I'm a hater. Like, he had all these expectations. For him to exceed these expectations would have been near impossible. He's had a tough season. I think we need to give him a little bit of grace right now. I mean, his name, all of that is just, it's tough. It's a tough season. I agree with you when it comes to Texas's defense. I thought they were going to stand up a whole lot more than they did against Florida. And when you look at Florida, it's like, I'm just confused.
Yeah.
I'm just confused.
I think we got a tier talk here from Joshua Button. Sark is 2-8 versus top 10 teams at Texas. He's 5-18 versus top 10 teams all time. Is it fair to start the James Franklin comparisons? Hashtag tier talk. Thank you, Joshua.
We're getting there.
I'd say yeah. I'd say very much fair.
Yeah.
Because again, you go in, you got to win that game against Florida.
Yes.
Especially you lose 14-7 against Ohio State. You rattled off 3 in a row. You're going into a massive game coming off a bye week. You got to take care of Florida in the swamp.
Yeah, and if you're Texas is 2-3, but the 3-2, but the 3 wins they have are against teams that, they should have easily mopped. They haven't had a win that's like, okay, that's a Texas team that we can put our hand happy on. Yes.
Feel
So
good
that's
on
it.
the recap. Are there any things that you feel like were not giving flowers? There's a lot of football going on in my head right now. We had a long conversation with Greg Olsen on the NFL. We obviously just watched the NFL on Sunday, so our brains have kind of been there. Oh man, where else? I think it's a massive week. This is a good spot.
Texas A&M. That's a ball club. A&M's a ball club now.
A&M is for real.
Yeah.
A&M is for real.
Hup.
Hump it, Ags.
A&M is for real. Who else is out there?
I don't know if they're for real yet.
Hold on,
I'm not
JP.
saying they
Hold
couldn't.
on.
I'm not saying they couldn't be. I'm just. Why are they for like? Why now are they for real?
Notre Dame is a big one. Big reason why. They covered a massive spread versus, despite allegedly your words, a good Mississippi State team who was it overtime with Tennessee? They go to overtime?
Yeah, it
they
was
went to
overtime.
overtime against Tennessee in that high-powered offense. They beat Arizona State, who beat them last year, who was ranked in the teens. Like Texas A&M, that's a good ball club. I mean, they're ranked number 5
I think
right
they're
now.
good. I think they're good. I'm not ready to say they're one of the best teams.
They got Florida next.
I
at
don't
home.
think I'm saying they're for real in a way that they are a true top 10. They're ranked number
Right.
5 right now, top 5 football team. Like, again, when you're looking at who are the legitimate national title contending champions, you think about Miami, you think about Ohio State, you think about Oregon. Possibly Texas Tech should enter that conversation just the way that they've been winning football games. And you look at the rankings and you try to remove the whole logo attached to them. A&M, though, they've handled their business.
We're aligned on that. Like, yeah, I would just leave them out of they're right below the Miami, Oregon.
Yeah,
Right,
I think that's
right
fair.
under that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
They're
in-
a playoff team that you won't be surprised will go far.
correct.
Yeah. But you're okay. So you're looking at just from the mask of national champion.
Yeah.
Got you.
Because they're going to have, it's like, look, we're going to get to find out because you look at their schedule. They're going to have, they got Florida this week. You got,
You have no idea what you're going to get there.
yeah,
you have no
clue.
idea.
If Florida plays the way that they play, like Florida was supposed to be a team that were going to be in it.
Right.
And it seems like they kind of hit a lick as far as executing an operation against Texas this past weekend.
But consistency is the major issue
Yeah.
in that program.
You're going to be at Arkansas, which again, you beat a good Florida team. Like, let's just say that's a tight game and they end up winning in the fourth quarter.
I mean, Arkansas just
You got
fired their head coach 2 weeks
big
ago.
time trap game at Arkansas. Then you go on the road at LSU. You go on the road to Missouri. You host South Carolina.
We'll know very quickly, like if they're
Yeah.
if they're in the Oregon.
I think across college football, like what a weekend slate we have for college football, and just these next several weeks, like this is
All of
we're
October.
in prime
October
college
is-
football season.
Yeah, it's spooky season for a lot of schools out there.
Who is the top 5? It's Penn State, or not Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State,
Miami.
Miami, and then who's 4?
You got A&M.
Where's Ole Miss?
Oh,
Ole
that's
Miss.
right, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
no one's really talking about Ole Miss.
which is dangerous.
Lane Kiffin making linebackers throw it from the sideline.
Lane Kiffin's son is going on a visit to LSU this weekend. Then Lane Kiffin's dog quote tweeted it and said, "I guess we know who the favorite son in the family is."
Oh,
Trouble in the Kiffin household.
Trouble in the
Trouble.
Kiffin household.
Just the
man.
way Kiffin likes it. All right, well, hey, hell of a recap, boys.
Indiana, Oregon this weekend.
I know.
Great
I think,
game.
I think Oregon's 9.5-point favorites.
7.5.
Don't give
7.5-point
Don't give
favorites.
Signetti
There's
a
going to be a
reason.
lot of good, like 7 to 8 win teams.
Yeah.
Here would be a
college
massive mistake for Indiana if it got leaked that Signetti was saying something about Dan.
God
If it
forbid.
got leaked.
We'll see. There's still a week. We got the week in front of us. We'll see if there's any fodder out there come locker room time.
Indiana, they
Account
look good.
created.
When we got old Josh
October
Pate on. And by the
2025.
way, Josh Pate was right. I was wrong. He's smart. I'm dumb. He's pretty. I'm ugly. He was completely right seeing the field for the Florida game.
Yeah, he was. And yeah, I know you more held that flag on Twitter, going at Pate all week. But I was with you. I thought Texas was going to steamroll
Yeah, I mean,
Florida.
just winning outright, kind of a ballsy. But look, he put his balls on the table and Florida handled business in a way to where I was kind of mad watching the game thinking, this motherfucker 1,000% knew something that everybody else didn't based on his relationships in that building of
Yeah.
Florida. You know what I mean? Like in a way,
Josh
I'm
Pate
like,
cheated
"Oh,
us."
dude, fuck Josh Pate right now.
Will's hair starts to grow back a little bit. All of a sudden, he's away from Josh Pate. So you know what? He is below me. All right,
right.
boys. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, and resubscribe. I love you so much. Thank you for watching the show.
Yeah, enjoy DeBoer and enjoy Greg Olsen. We interrupt this episode to bring you Liquid IV. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. Transitioning from the relaxed summer vibe to dialing in your fall routine takes focus and stamina, boys. Push harder, recover faster with Liquid IV's new energy multiplier.
Ooh.
It's sugar-free, hydrating energy. It's hydrating energy made with electrolytes, vitamins, and natural caffeine. Zero sugar, zero crash.
I was going to ask if there was a crash or not. That's good.
Just one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by the LIV Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 100 milligrams of natural caffeine plus 200 milligrams of L-theanine. Provides balanced energy without the jitters, 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free.
Are you kidding me?
Don't let the grind drain you. Ditch the glitch with zero sugar and zero crash from Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com to get 20% off your first order with code BUSSIN at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code BUSSIN at liquidiv.com.
Dude, gotta hydrate. Gotta hydrate for everything in life, but something you should also hydrate for, making love. And Rose Sparks are having a little issue or you just want a little enhancer, Rose Sparks is a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who need a secret weapon against softness. Rose Sparks gives guys bigger, thicker, longer erections because they get fuller. After Rose Sparks dissolves, they work in 15 minutes on average. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect to the provider at ro.co/bussin to find if prescription Rose Sparks is right for you. That's ro.co/bussin for $15 off your first order.
So we got getting physical, staying hydrated, and now if you're somebody who fumbles the ball a little bit when it comes to getting a confident clean in the back of your end zone,
Yeah, I
after
am.
a crazy night, make the right play. Call an audible and switch from dry toilet paper to wet, extra large Dude wipes. Why? It's simple. Wetter just cleans better, and Dude wipes are wet and extra large, so they clear, never smear your rear. So when you got to go number 2, be sure to bring the number 1 product in clean, Dude wipes, the GOAT of cleaning your keister. Available on Amazon and at Walmart nationwide. Dude wipes, best clean, pants now. Let's get back to this awesome episode.
Pants down. Pants now.
Yes, sir.
Coach, friend of the show, how we doing?
Good.
Great
We're
to
good.
see you. Great to see
Did it
you.
look good before I stepped in here. Hopefully it still looks all right.
Yeah,
Yes, it
no.
does, man.
First off, Coach, happy Spooktober. We're rolling right now. So if there's anything you want to say off camera, we'll wait till after the show. First off, congratulations on beating Vandy, man. Let's give him another round of applause for that. That's unbelievable. Jack, please clap. Thank you. It's got to be a very interesting win for you because we're in this new age of football. Like when I was playing, even just a couple of years ago, it's like, hey, don't give anybody bulletin board material. Don't give anything for the other team to be like, you see what they're saying about you here? Now we live in this crazy world. You had to deal with it week 1 with Castanello. He's out there being like, I'm going to do this to Alabama. And then you got Diego Pavia saying the things he says. It's got to make this win feel a whole lot better, huh?
Yeah, and I mean, there's that part, of course, but we can't control that, and we're in our own fight here throughout the season. And I'm just proud of the way the guys just go 1 week at a time and just, got a chip on their shoulder with the things that are out there, but also balancing and channeling the energy into the things that matter most and helping them be the best that they can be.
Coach, I gotta ask because I'm just the psyche of an ex-football player. I was in the locker room last week when I was breaking down the Alabama Vandy game, and to me, I'm thinking to myself, they probably didn't celebrate the Georgia game that long. Like that was a game you guys needed to have, but knowing that you win that game and you got Vandy the next week at home based on everything that did, like the loss last year that probably felt very embarrassing. You've been seeing victory laps year in, year out, but the moment of the Georgia win probably didn't last too long because everybody was just absolutely juiced to the gills because you wanted to play a team like Vanderbilt. Am I off in assuming that?
No, I think you're right, and I think that continues to be the case. I'm proud of the maturity of our group, learning from the experiences we've been through. But you're right. I mean, we were ecstatic and excited, winning a big one on the road. But before we walked out of the locker room, I know some of the guys, were already talking about the next one and how important that was. And I'll say this though, like our guys were saying the same thing just Saturday, and so I love that mindset. And it's 1 game seasons that we're playing right now. Just every week, it's great competition. We've getting early, but we haven't played a team that's had a loss when we've played them yet this year. And so, it's a tribute to the teams we're playing. And obviously, again, early in the year, but another great challenge here with Missouri coming up.
Yeah, you've done a great job of since week 1, just having everybody focused and dialed in. You guys seem like you're crushing. One guy who's absolutely killing it too, keeps that ball, as Will Compton would say, up here. Ty Simpson he's got that good. He's got that. Hey, he keeps it up. He keeps it tight. Guy sits in a backup role for 3 years, able to come in and he's putting up numbers. I think it's like 1,500 yards right now. People are making whispers about a Heisman trophy. Just talk about Ty Simpson, his development, what you've seen from him, because it really seems like this guy's taking a major step to where he's running up draft boards now. People are excited about him when maybe before the season, when we were talking about SEC quarterbacks, no one was really mentioning the Alabama quarterback.
Yeah, and understandably so. We hadn't even named him a starter, and so I think really there's been just every week a lot of growth and learning from him that he's taken on. I think our coaches are just continuing to coach him hard, and he's great with it now because he understands that we're doing this because there's a trust in him. We're asking a lot out of him, and he's capable of it, and he knows that we feel that way. So even this last week, just, he put a lot on his shoulders, and we certainly know he could have done a better job of getting rid of the ball at times, and you can call that being picky, but we need great play out of him. We need him managing the game, but because he's going to bring the explosives, whether it's with his feet, with his arm, the big plays that separate him from other quarterbacks are going to happen just because of him and also what we do offensively. But he's just got to continue to do a good job of learning from the moments that set us back as an offense this last week. And he's done that every week. And now there's new things that will present themselves going into Missouri.
Coach, I want to go back to the loss after Florida State, because there is clearly a lot of noise around the program of Alabama, talking about the impossible job, the impossible succession of Nick Saban. We should have known this was going to happen. DeBoer, he's underwater. You see some effort plays out there against Florida State looking back on week one. Talk about your staff, talk about your players, because whether or not it's noise and those are external things, it's loud enough around a program at Alabama and in the national landscape to where no matter what, it is felt from every angle, whether you want to block it out or not. How did everybody in the building kind of handle that gut check moment? Because being around a lot of programs and having a lot of success with programs before you got to Alabama, a couple things can kind of happen there with the team. You either let the noise kind of sit there, it doesn't really get addressed. Guys, clicks start forming, conversations start happening. You kind of just go on about your business like, hey guys, we're just going to stay with each other. Don't worry about the noise. Or there's also teams that kind of shut the doors, watch the tape very critically, almost address everything going on and kind of have that gut check moment like it seems like you guys had, because you guys have been swinging ever since.
Yeah, all off season, going back to January, so much was made about the chemistry of this team, the character, and I wasn't like our guys were beating their chest about it. I think a lot of it was just really heartfelt and people recognizing, what was happening with continuity of staff, continuity of players. We were proud of staff and talk about the work ethic of individuals. And then those individuals would talk about each other, and there came this point, as you mentioned, where, we have week one and, now we're in a room and we're talking about, okay, is this real? Like, do we really care about the other guys, and them counting on me and us counting on each other? Is it real that we really, don't want to let the other guy down? And I think the answer has been seen that it was. And, we weren't afraid to call it out. We would call out guys and each other every single day in practice. There's been a real accountability. As much as it didn't look like it in week one or feel like it, that has happened. And we just went really back to the basics and kept it simple. And I think it did create an edge that our team had that punched them in the face. And we've used that a lot as far as, what are you going to do? Are you just going to take it? Or are you going to respond and punch back harder? I'm proud of the way the guys have taken all that energy, and most of it being negative, about 99.9% of it being negative that is outside, and focusing it into what they could control. And that's the preparation. And, we have just, again, a couple of simple foundational things about how we move, and it kind of relates to urgency. But it's been really critical for us to keep progressing, keep getting better, and still balance, again, the chip on the shoulder that we've had. The world of college football and just, again, social media and everything that's out there, it is a lot of noise. And we do know we signed up for it here at Alabama, because that comes with being here. And I reminded the guys of that right away, that I signed up for that. They signed up for that. I recruited guys here and told them, don't come here if you can't handle it. And, again, these guys, I'm proud of the response that we've had here, going on the last 4 weeks.
Dude, something. Sorry, Taylor. I want to, and I know we're in the middle of the season. You guys have a gauntlet of a schedule. You can't sleep on any team. You can't take a breath. You can't take a break. You guys are going into Mizzou this next weekend, who's a very tough football team. But the things that you're speaking to, like a moment that stands out to me, like as I'm watching you guys, it was in the Georgia game where I want to say one of your defenders, whether it was a double move or something, he got beat. They scored touchdown, and essentially the staff, like you, I'm assuming it was the defensive coordinator, but you guys are coming on the field saying that's on us, that's our call. But just tapping your, just as a former player, like as somebody who's played the game, like knowing you're in a very hostile environment, you're on the road at a place like Georgia, and just seeing you guys kind of come off the sideline and that kind of rally moment happening. I know just as a player, it was really exciting to see, to where I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, these guys are checked in. These guys are like locked the fuck in. They know shit's going to hit the fan. When it does hit the fan, there's going to be zero loss of focus. There's not going to be finger pointing like, hey, let's get to the sideline, let's regroup. So that's hats off to you guys. Again, I know we're in the middle of the season. It's not like you guys have won the Natty yet or anything, but as a player, I have a lot of respect for a coaching staff like that.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of everything Will said, like that first game, there was a lot of noise, right? Like, and you're talking about the players. There's a lot of conversations like, what are the players doing the night before the game? A lot of people are whispers about all these things. I want to know where your head was at, in like just personally, whether with the family talking. Like, you obviously have to go and stand in front of the team the next day and deliver a message to them that allows it to resonate, so they can be like, okay, we do have each other's back. But you got some lady in Alabama and the lottery, the Powerball lottery is at $1.4 billion. They're like, hey, what would you do if you won the Powerball? She's like, well, first thing I'd do is I'd buy out Kalen DeBoer and I'd make sure we get a new head coach in there. Like, the noise is crazy for you individually. How do you handle that pressure, just without worrying about the team, but like, how do you like compartmentalize and handle all that?
Yeah. I think first of all, going back to what you said right away, the noise that's real and like, we get it. Like, you make your own bed, right? I mean, we didn't play well. And, but I think the noise that people just want to make things up and aren't real, about what's going on the night before, that are completely false and factual, those are the things that just add to the chip on their shoulder that I've held on to. I know our team's held on to, and aren't who we are. It's not the character of us. I mean, these guys are all in and are doing the right things. And so that's what I reminded them of. And, again, we can't control what everyone else wants to run with, whatever storyline or how they feel. That we've just kept enough of it alive because we don't want to take away the focus from what's really important. That's our preparation when we step on the football field tomorrow at practice. And, that's what really matters. And so, my message to the guys, wasn't one of an edge, but also one that said, we did some things that, kind of made our own bed, and we gotta respond, and we got to be better, and we know we can be better, and we can control that. That's the fortunate thing. So do you believe in what we got? Do you believe in the talent? Do you believe in the staff, and the staff believe in the players? And I think the response has been, that we do. And I love coaching these guys. I really do. There's an excitement about going to battle with these guys, and we're proving it to us, and that's what it starts with. But I also know that there's an edge where we're proving it to everyone else too.
Mm-hmm. How do you keep that edge? How do you keep that focus going to prepare for a week against a team like the Missouri Tigers? You have two very, very emotional wins back to back with Georgia, and then hosting Vandy at home. How do you stay locked in and continue to keep that chip on the shoulder, where it's like you know the urgency, you feel like the prep and urgency is going to be there, but how do you just stay on top of the boys? Because again, you guys got to go to Missouri, and it doesn't get easier throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, they are really good, and they are dominating on the run game, both sides of the ball. The time of possession, if we're not careful, you ain't gonna have the ball at all. And so I think how do you keep the edge? I looked at the film, and we looked at the film as a staff, and there were some mistakes and things that we did early in the game, in particular as a team, that can't happen. And again, it set it in a direction early on. Now, thank goodness we've been through the fight a little bit, and we didn't flinch. I think like people probably have expected us to the last few weeks. didn't flinch when he got in that moment. But we got a lot of just things that we got to clean up and be better. And it's exciting too, because it shows that there's a higher ceiling for our team.
Yeah.
But we got to go make it happen because, we keep making those mistakes. We're going to have one of these teams going on the road at a Missouri or whatever it might be that are going to get you. And so just, again, got to execute better. That's really what it was. I can't say our guys weren't in the fight. I think they came off to the sideline and wanted to solve problems and be solution oriented. They want to be coached, but we just didn't execute a couple things. And it's really not a schematic thing. It's not a team thing. It's just like literally one guy's just got to do his job better. Some of the things that we went through could have been avoided. We got to finish, at certain times, but I'm proud of how we finished the game. The second half in particular, stuff in the run defensively and offensively, we scored every possession. We just got to turn some of those drives into touchdowns and not settle for field goals.
Yeah. You guys did a great job. I mean, you didn't flinch at all, right? You go down 7-0 and then it's 14-7 at one point. I think Vandy had like 100 yards of rushing in the first half. A lot of it came in the first quarter, and it seemed like you guys didn't flinch at all, which is awesome. You talked about Missouri a little bit, owning the time of possession. If you're not careful, you're not going to get the ball at all. What's the biggest takeaway when you watch the film with the Missouri Tigers that, we got to watch out for this? I know they have a hell of a rusher. Something about Penn State backups going to other places and having a dominant, successful careers. And Priblo, he's playing really well. What are the things you're seeing from their offensive side that's like, okay, well, this is what we have to worry about a little bit?
They have such a complementary of skill. And their running backs, Hardy, and he has a missed tackle. Statistically, he has a missed tackle, and it shows up on film every other carry. And I mean, he just keeps plays alive, and people think they got him down and he's still running, and the yards after contact just, blow your mind. And so we got to rally. We got to be there. The schemes they run and the things they run off the play off the plays, Coach Drinkwitz and Kirby Moore, you can see their fingers all over it and know those two well over the years. Kirby was with me. Coach Moore was with me for 4 years together at Fresno State. And so you can see that meshing the philosophies together. They're extremely efficient, 76% completion percentage. It's impressive what they're doing. You can see what their philosophy is. And then defensively, they complement it and they get the ball back for them, and then they just go do it again. And so they're in it for the long haul. You don't see them having to feel like they got to go score, 25 points in the first quarter. They're willing to, just grind you out, and they're going to take their shots when they want to, and, throw trick play or specials, play action down the field. But, they're going to play in for the fourth quarters, and they've won a lot of close games over the last few years, with that type of philosophy, and every team looks a little different, but they got a lot of pieces that are coming together right now when you take their skill mixed in with an offensive line that fits what they do.
What type of week this is going to be for the players, like toward the end of the week at Alabama?
Tell me.
It's going to be like, man, why is the staff why are they feeling like we kind of lost these last 2 weeks? Like, you know what I mean? To kind of keep that coaches
chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like they know, like, hey, if we play our level of game, we can beat these guys.
We won two big games. Why are they acting like we lost?
Like Taylor's oldest time.
Yeah, that's gonna be like the urgency that the players are kind of feeling at the end of the week. I can taste it. Coach, big Spooktober family. You guys love to celebrate Halloween. The family decorating. We got some costumes in the waiting in the wings. What do we got going on for the month of Spooktober?
Yeah, my wife does a pretty good job, I guess I would say. I don't get in. I'm busy in football, right? But I will say my wife does a pretty good job with all holidays, making it feel a certain way. And so she already got the September and October, or the October themed things, up about a week ago. So she's ahead of the game like usual.
Do you have a favorite scary movie?
I can't think of what. I mean, I like the dramas and the scary ones, but but I can't say I got a favorite.
He's just thinking of games he's lost.
Yeah,
That's the scary movie.
Yeah, those are the scary movies. Before we Coach DeBoer out here, do you have any questions for him? He's our resident Alabama fan. Garrett.
I do. Coach, Roll Tide. Quick question. Now that the black hoodie has created some sort of lore, I just got to know, is it the same hoodie every week, and are you washing it in between games?
Great question.
It's funny how something you've done for so long all of a sudden becomes a thing now. And I'm good. Well, whatever. I mean, that's what I've been comfortable within for years. And, so they're just making it even more comfortable. But it does get washed. I promise you that. There's been a couple hot games the last couple of weeks. And, but yeah, it's funny that it's taken a little bit of a life there. And, just try to keep the guys and my family, my daughters, they see it all, and they're even kind of putting the pressure on me, like, Coach, you can't let us down, So, I didn't mean for it to be that way. It was just kind of what I was comfortable with over the years, but it's kind of taken a life of its own, crazy enough.
Coach,
awesome.
man, thank you for your time, bro. Good luck against Mizzou this week. Seriously, hats off to you over these last few weeks. It's been fun to watch you guys kind of climb out of that. It felt like black hole that was around you guys after that Florida State game, but very much appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, you bet. Appreciate what you guys do for just all of sports, college football, the excitement you continue to build. There's a lot of growth that's happening in our sport and excitement for it. The craziness that revolves around building your team and all that, that's one thing, but the sport continues to grow. So appreciate all you guys do.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach DeBoer, friend of the show.
Friend of the show, hit the group chat. Tell them year 10 still alive. Tell your boys year 10 still alive.
Year 10 still alive. Appreciate you, Coach. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
What a guy.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was awesome.
I don't know if you can hear me. Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Coach, we got
Appreciate
you, man.
you,
Thank you,
Coach.
brother.
You bet. Yeah, you guys are again, like what I just said, it's cool seeing what you guys do. You bring good energy to everything. So thanks for it.
It's
Thank
fun.
you. Appreciate you just taking the time out of the day, too. Obviously, it's a big win, and a couple of schmucks like us, it's awesome that you took the time, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I just was in the defensive room, walked straight out of there, and all the things you were just talking about that I was able to explain pretty quickly, because that was demoralizing watching the highlight film of that tailback make all the plays he's made this year.
He's
So,
impressive, dude. He is very impressive.
he is, man.
Yeah.
They got the other guy too. Compliments. He got 7.3, one 7.1, one 7.3 yards per carry. So it ain't just one guy. They come at you with the second one too. So
Yeah, antenna's got to be up going into Columbia.
Yeah.
yeah, 11 o'clock kickoff. We got to be ready.
Yeah, bro.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, Coach.
All right, Coach.
All right. See you
Thank
guys.
you.
Yeah, man, doing good. Last week I had a travel nightmare from hell getting home from Dublin. That's why I couldn't jump on with you guys. I spent literally 24 hours traveling. Spent like 8 hours in Heathrow in London, lost our bags, missed our connection. It was a nightmare.
Jesus. So-
I left Dublin. Local Dublin time is 5 hours ahead of East Coast. So we left. It was overtime of the Packers Dallas game. So it was like 11:30 Eastern, 4:30 a.m. in Dublin. We were in the car going to the airport. I walked in my house with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of Monday Night Football.
Oh,
Monday Night Football?
Yeah,
that is brutal.
it was brutal. But Dublin was cool though. Dublin was fun.
Yeah, I bet, but that travel schedule is crazy. How do you reset for practices that week?
Coming east, I always do pretty well. Or no, coming west, I always do pretty well. Going east is when being in Dublin, we were more like jet lagged and time was off. Coming back west, coming home, was fine. Was not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever play across the pond?
Yeah, 2019. So my last year in Carolina, we played in London. We played the Bucks. I loved it. I thought it was super cool. I thought the crowd was great. I think the fans internationally loved the games. It was a cool experience. I had never been so I've been now to Europe 2 times to play in a game in London and to call a game in Dublin.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did your team go? Did you guys go for the week?
Or did you go for that Thursday?
We started doing it like, those teams. Well, I guess everyone's still kind of doing it a little different, but we went like Thursday. We either went like Wednesday night or Thursday night. I don't remember.
Thursday after practice.
Yeah, we had like a practice and then we flew through the night, and we either landed there like Friday morning early or Thursday morning early. I don't remember which one, but yeah, it was a good experience.
I can't believe he enjoyed it. I hated it.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Why didn't you like it?
I just you're like when you get done with practice and then you go and hit the jet And then you're thinking like, all right, guy, you're trying to figure out that's your night of sleep. And then you land and it's Friday morning. You jump right into meetings. You jump right into getting going
It's
to
a long
practice.
day.
There's a
It's a long
massive
day.
nap that ends up happening, but they try to tell you not to sleep too long.
Right.
It was just, then the field was kind of slippery like that. The turf that they had was I felt like a little bit different.
In the practice field that we were on, because I think it was 18. Yeah, the year you were there. 18, we went to play the Chargers in London. We did the same thing. Left Thursday, landed Friday morning, did a practice. You go practice, playing practice. And the practice field in London was like in front of like this like pseudo castle. And there was like divots all everywhere. And you kind of just like doing a jog through, but you're like in hell from a sleepy boy standpoint. And like, do not go to sleep until 7:30. And it's I remember looking at the clock. It was like 7:28, and it was the longest 2 minutes of my life because I was like, I got to check the box at 7:30 before I go to sleep. Then all the boys like the next day, like, yeah, we went to the pub. I'm thinking, how the fuck do you guys do that?
Well, yeah, that's what got me.
Those days were over.
Way over.
I know. I thought Tottenham Stadium. Where'd you go? We played at Tottenham. Where'd you play?
Shit, one of them.
London.
Yeah, London. We played in London, man.
Well, I think there's Wembley, right?
Yeah, I think
Wembley.
we played.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, we played.
Yeah, we were at Tottenham, which was like the brand new stadium that they had just built. I don't know. It was like I think it was within like a year or two of us playing there, so it was brand new. It was nice. I don't know. I thought it was a cool experience. I had never been overseas before, so maybe that was part of it. But yeah, the sleep is the hardest part. The jet lag's the worst part.
Yeah. And then we tied, so you're flying back. You kind of
we won, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, and my team lost, so I guess we all felt every single different
winning cures all.
Yeah, winning
no
does cure
doubt.
all. For us though, it was like our kicker missed the field goal to win. So you kind of felt like we won. We felt really shitty for Dustin Hopkins. He felt like he lost. We're patting him on the back. Hey, tough.
It's all good, man. We did our job, but it's all good, brother.
But did you mean it? That's the question. When you put your arm around him, did you mean it? Is the real?
No, that's where you hope a camera's around. You're like, oh man, Will Compton's he's got his boys back.
I'm thinking I had a pick, 10 tackles. Like you missed that field goal.
You had a pick?
Yeah.
If only everybody else was as committed as I was.
Right.
Yeah.
Greg, can I ask you a question? Speaking of being across the pond, if you're a head coach of a football team and you get there, you fly across the pond, you get the guys ready, and then somebody is late to a team meeting because they wanted to sightsee, would you suspend them for the first quarter of that game?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jordan Addison, Kevin O'Connell. That's the situation that happened this past weekend.
Very, very. I don't care if we're in Chicago, Charlotte, Dallas, or Dublin. I don't care where we are. Meetings start when they start. Responsibilities start when they start. Like, this is pro ball, man. Like, this is not high school, and this is not, your mom didn't drop you off in time and you left your helmet at home, and, college even, like, we all were stupid, and, you sleep through a workout at 6 a.m. because your alarm. Like, we've all had those moments, but like pro ball, man, there's just no excuses for any of that. Like, in my mind, I always thought like the guys that were late, the guys that missed stuff, I just always took it as disrespect for everybody else around you's time. Like, if it's okay for me to be on time, why is it not okay for you to be on time? I'm just as tired. I'm just as busy. I don't know. That's how I always viewed it. So yeah, I would have, at the pro level, I would have zero tolerance for like guys missing, guys showing up late. Now, would I bench him the whole game? No. I think what they did was reasonable.
You need that
game.
You need the game-winning touchdown.
Got to have the game-winning touchdown.
So I mean, we're not heroes. We're not heroes here. Like, you got to say, Mario Cristobal, the coach down in Miami, he told me something that I've never forgot. He said he learned this from Nick Saban. He said Nick Saban had a saying. He said, when the tiger enters the temple, make him part of the ceremony. And like the idea being like, you're going to have stuff that goes bad. You're going to have a guy that's late to pregame. He's going to miss the bus. There needs to be discipline in the moment, but it can't become a distraction to the entire locker room. The guy's now storming out of the locker room and he's not playing. And now all of a sudden the game plan's thrown away and we might lose the game over it. Like, there's a time to discipline them. There's a way to discipline them, but don't take it so far that it gets in the way of everybody else's ability to go out and compete and win the game. I always think that's like a very good thing to keep in mind. Like, sat in for the quarter, made the point to the rest of the team that nobody's above the rules, and now get your ass back in there and go win the game.
Yeah. You got that. I'm sure that
that's well
locker room
said.
was like, you learned your lesson? Good. Great catch at the end. That was phenomenal. I love that.
Is everyone good? Okay.
Yeah.
We're good.
Hey, that was solid. We're actually going to take away that fine now because you got the game-winning touchdown.
No, that was well said.
Exactly.
When you're coaching your games and some of these kids show up late, do you go to the parent and give them a talking to? Maybe hit them with a fine or something like that?
So that's where it's a little bit different, because right now at our age, kids are 100% dependent on their parents, right? Like the parents take them to and from practice. The parents schedule dentist appointments, the parents, it's the kid's not scheduling an orthodontist appointment on a Tuesday at 4:00, right? Like it's not the kid's fault. So we try our best to communicate all the scheduling and all the, expectations, both to the kids, of course, because they got to learn it, but also equally as important to the parents, because little Johnny wants to be at practice on time at a summer workout at 8:30 a.m. on a Wednesday, but like mom and dad have work and it's summer. So like I am a little bit more understanding of the young kids of what's going on, and they have siblings, they have parents, they have jobs. Like there's a lot more going on for these kids than just sports, unlike, the professionals who this is all they do. So I'm a little bit more understanding of the kids. We have a little bit more grace and leniency. But I do tell the kids all the time, like, don't take advantage now. Like every once in a while, okay, circumstances come up. We're going to take everything on a case by case basis. But if it's just continuous and it's the same repeat offenders over and over again, we're going to have accountability. We're going to have standards that apply to everybody on the team, from the top player to the bottom of the roster. Everyone's the same, but it is just a little bit of a different dynamic because of how dependent they are on their family, on their family dynamics and their parents and whatnot.
No doubt. But if they're late 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, do we maybe grab the dad in the corner and be like, what's your deal? We have a conversation with him. Hey man, listen.
Have you had a dicey situation with a parent?
To be honest with you, we've been doing this now at the school for 2 years. And I have to say, we have parents that really have bought in to what we ask. And we are the first to admit that what we do is not for everyone. And we ask a lot of time. We ask for all the summers. We ask for time after school. And we're doing Zoom meetings the night before games. Granted, the kids are home, but like everyone's logging onto a Zoom at 7:30 to 8:30, and we're tightening up some stuff for the next game. So playing for us is probably a little bit of a bigger time commitment than maybe some of the other, age, at this age level of some of the other teams, but we don't shy away from it. We communicate it up front. We're very open and honest about what we're doing. And pretty much now for 2 years, the kids love it. The kids would practice and watch film all day long. Coach, when are we going to watch practice? Coach, are we going to watch game film? Hey, they love it. But it's a burden on the family, so we're always very conscious of balancing the two. But
hey, just to bring up a Nick Saban quote, it takes what it takes. You tell me how you're feeling when we go undefeated this year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You guys are essentially the IMG of Pop Warner football.
We're about to play 2 really good teams, and they could beat us. I tell our kids all the time, like, if the second we don't play our best game, we are going to get everybody's best shot. And the second we don't play our best game, we could lose. Yeah. And we don't ever talk about winning every game. I mean, I joke about it with you guys, but like we don't ever talk to the kids like the expectation is to win every game. We never talk about wins and losses, ever. All we talk about is how good can we get? How good can we get? And when we're good, we tell them we're good. When we're not good, we make the corrections and we tell them, hey, we got higher standards than this. This is unacceptable. We got to address this or whatever it is. So we never talk about wins and losses. We don't start the season saying, hey, we got to win all 7 games. We got to win by 100. Like, we never discuss wins and losses, and we don't coach the scoreboard. We are going to coach you harder up 30 than if we were up 7. And we don't coach the scoreboard. We don't think you played well because we won by 30. We don't think we played bad because we lost. We are going to coach you based on your performance of every play. And if we do that over and over and over again, we probably won't win a lot of games.
What do you say to the the fans that are now starting to, there's some rat poison, I feel like, entering into your camp. There's
Just a bunch of Nick Sabanisms
again, I've been on some message boards, and there's some talk now. It's like, hey, has Greg Olsen, this football team, gotten a little too Hollywood?
Yeah.
They got vlogs, they're filming their games.
Yeah, they're
now.
mic'd up.
They're mic'd up.
Luke Kuechly seems like he's enjoying the spotlight a little too much.
Yeah. What do you got to
Luke's
say?
changed.
Yeah, what do you got to say to
This is
those
going to his head.
Yeah, those haters and fans that are kind of seeing that you guys are putting some film
Yeah, it wasn't
out
the
there?
Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Fame that's going to get to Luke. It's going to be his 7th grade defense.
Yeah. Some guys got different stuff, different strokes for different folks.
Hey, listen, we understand the world that we live in. I think the kids really enjoy it, but with all of it, and if you play for us, honesty is never going to be an issue. There's never going to be, I wonder where I stand. I wonder what the messaging is. We're going to be very direct and clear.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, we're going to be very direct and clear. We tell our kids all the time, all this stuff is fun. Everybody likes seeing the videos. Everybody likes laughing, and Olsen's nuts and Kuechly, but like the kids, in today's world, we all know people eat this stuff up, and we're going to give the kids the opportunity to enjoy it, right? It's part of the experience of playing sports in today's world. Whether everybody likes it or not, it's not going anywhere. So the one option is to lean into it and do it and put the kids out there and let them enjoy it. But then the other side of it is you got a target on your back, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't like it. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't like me, and a lot don't like our staff, and don't like that they go to this school, and they don't like that you win. Like, that's the real world in everything that you do. It's going to be even worse when you get to high school, and so on and so forth. So we lean into it. We don't want to be the bad guys. We're not trying to be bullies. We believe in coaching football the way we all know football. And that doesn't start at high school. It doesn't start in college. It doesn't start it's the only way to play the game of football from a safety standpoint, from a competitive standpoint, is to play the game the way we were all taught to play the game, which is smart, fast, aggressive, with great fundamentals and technique, and we are going to play extremely hard and violent. That is the sport of football, whether you're in 7th grade, 12th grade, or in your 10th year in the NFL. It never changes, and that's how we believe it should be played. That's how we believe it should be coached. Our kids embrace it. They love it. They thrive. We had 32 kids on the team last year. We got 50 this year. We might have 60 next year. Like, it works. The notion that you can't hold kids to high standards, the notion that you can't be intense in the correct forum with the correct words and the correct delivery, like, it's all, and again, we haven't always gotten all that right. But these young boys at this age in their life, they thrive on it. They feed on it. And the amount of parents that tell me, like, I don't recognize my son anymore. Like, this isn't the same boy that I knew. His confidence, the way he stands up, getting ready in the morning, like, it has a lasting impact on not just the football. It impacts them in everything. And I'm telling two guys, like, we all had the same life. Like, this was all we ever did. And whether we ever played professional ball or not, those early football experiences shaped everything we've ever done.
Yeah. I don't recognize my son anymore. He's taking creatine and whey protein in the mornings.
It reminds me of like Khabib when he talks about, he's like, send your kid to Dagestan for 2 years, forget. Like that is, it sounds like you just say, if you're a kid, you don't know what he's going to be. He's got maybe some toughness issues, he's a little disorganized. Send him to Greg Olsen and Luke Kuechly. Handle business.
Yeah, and listen, and I also want to be clear, like, we have a lot of fun. Like, this is not just like dog days grinding them through the pulp. Like, I tell our kids, the more the game gets out of whack, the harder we're going to coach you. Because the problem in blowouts, especially at the young age, is that's where bad habits get created. So all of a sudden, how often do you see, all right, the game's out of reach. Now everything's okay. Nah, you jumped off sides. Nah, we fumbled the snap. We didn't line up correctly. But all of a sudden now you're just coaching to the scoreboard. We don't coach to the scoreboard because those habits we lose in the second half of a 30-point game, I got to spend all week next week undoing all of those habits before our next game. And we don't have time for that. Like, we don't have time to keep going backwards. So when it's 30-0, we're going to coach the hell out of your splits, and we're going to coach your stance, and we're going to coach your get off and your leverage and where's your hat placement. Because the second we let it go, that habit now has been formed in a negative way. I got to coach the shit out of that all week now again against a team who's better, and it could cost us. So like,
Yeah.
that's just the way it works, man. Like there's no other way to play the game of football if you want to play it and you want to be competitive and you want to be safe and you don't want to get hurt. And the only way to play it is that way. And we want to teach these kids as young as possible what that looks like so that they're ready for high school. That's our number one goal. Get these kids ready to be high school players, some of them next year, and then obviously the 7th graders in 2 years.
So we got you want to hit Mitch's question?
I did want to add, just this is a quick hypothetical. Let's say a Netflix or a Paramount or a Prime came to you and we're like,
or a Bussin.
Or a Bussin.
Yeah, baby.
Or a Bussin Productions. And they're like, hey, love what you're doing. I think the world needs to see what you're doing. What do you think of like a reality Gridiron Pups type of show that comes out like a series, like an
Confession Corners.
8-episode series? Would you humor that conversation with said programs?
Yeah, I think I would. I believe, here's what I'll say. I don't sit here, I've talked to you guys a million times. I don't sit here pretending that I have all the answers or that our way is the only way of doing football. I'm the first to say we have not always done everything right in the world of youth sports. We've not always coached our teams right. I haven't always been, my message to my own 3 children after games or after practices has not always been right. I'm the first to address that. I am an intense person. I love to compete. I don't like other people getting the better of me. It's just the way I'm wired. So it comes through in the teams that I coach. Like I want my kids to embody highly, highly competitive spirit in everything that they do, because I think that's how you learn and grow and find yourself in the world of sports. Having said that, I think I would have no problem with people seeing behind the curtain of what we do. Not everyone's going to like it. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to say, oh my God, this is what I want for my son or daughter. But other people are going to say, I want nothing to do with that. And that's okay. We love these kids. These kids know they're loved, and these kids know that they're going to be coached big time and hard and held accountable. And after every game, every parent who comes up and shakes our hand says, continue to coach my kid, continue to push my kid, because the kid they gave us is very different than the kid we give them back. That doesn't mean there's not bumps in the road. That doesn't mean at times we really got to push the envelope. But man, the finished product at the end of a season, when we give these kids back and they move on to basketball or wrestling or whatever, they just go home and they don't play a winter sport. Man, seeing the finished product is far and away better than the wins and the losses. I think being able to showcase that and all the work that we put in, the summers, the meetings, the calls, the lunches with me and Luke, I think a lot of people would enjoy it. I think some people would think it's too much, and that's okay.
I love it.
Yeah. We got a question for you in the back from our boy Mitch. You played a buddy of his. You guys played his team recently, but Mitch, go ahead, brother.
Coach Greg, there is a clip going around of you and Coach Luke watching film of a penalty, and you guys were not very happy with said penalty. Meanwhile, you guys were up 44-0. My question is, how much hell do you guys give the refs of these games?
Great question by Mitch Carlson.
I'm glad you asked me this, and I hope this clip goes. I think
I promise it's going to go now.
Hard time. I've said this about NFL referees. So I'm standing consistent with NFL referees all the way down to middle school and Pop Warner. I think they have a really hard job. I think there's a lot going on. I think when you get down to lower age groups, so middle school age groups, on every play there's chaos, right? There's coaches yelling to get kids lined up. There's formations that look a little wonky. There's kids downfield. There's holding calls. There could be penalties on every single play. I totally understand that and respect the job that they're doing. Do we work the officials the entire game? Yes. That's kind of part, the football culture of continuing to find advantages for your teams is kind of ingrained. After every game, though, I make sure I go to the officials. Like, there's nothing personal about any of this. Like, this is not personal attacks on them. This is not that I question their integrity or question their competency. We are going to coach hard. We're going to coach our kids hard. We're going to try to find every advantage. We're going to try to find every call. We're going to try to manipulate the game the best that we can. That particular example, it was halftime. When I said, let's go girls, it was the cheerleaders. I've been very clear with you guys that halftime stops because the girls, my daughter's on the cheerleading team. they go out and perform. So the clip after me saying that is like, let's go, girls. Obviously, I was responding to my daughter and her friends that just cheered at halftime. But yeah, we have iPads that we can see. And there was a 4th down personal foul called that they said our guy knocked down the quarterback late. Actually, the offensive lineman ran into his own quarterback and knocked him down. And that's why I said that. And again, the score is irrelevant. I was saying that amongst our coaches. At halftime, we're trying to regroup on everything that had gone on. And in the heat of the game, yeah, we're intense. In the heat of the game, we're coaching our kids. We're yelling at our own coaches. Me and my dad are arguing. Me and Luke are like, it's a football sideline is an intense sideline, but I have a ton of respect for officials. I don't think their job is easy at any level. And after every game, I make sure, at least my message to them is like, listen, whatever happened during the game, arguing calls, holding, offsides, downfield, whatever it was, we're good. There's zero animosity, zero hard feelings. I don't envy the job you guys have, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
We're good. I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, that's one-sided maybe sometimes.
Do I ride them? Yes.
Yeah, no question. The score, it's irrelevant. It doesn't
Should we
matter.
talk some ball? Hey,
but that's the biggest thing, and I get that from everyone. Like, man, why are you you're up by a lot. We don't coach to the scoreboard.
Right. Yes, sir.
The score, in my mind, is completely irrelevant to the game. When the score gets out of hand, we had every single one of our kids has played in the last 2 games, all 49 of them. We control the score. We get young kids in. We get some kids who haven't gotten a lot, kids that have never played football before. We use the depth of our roster to control the scoreboard. We're not looking to score 100. We will always be respectful of the other team. But we also owe it to our older kids who gave their entire summer, who give 4 days a week of practice, who get coached really hard. We owe it to them that they get to play. And we get to run our offense, and we get to run our defense, and we get to do all the things that we spend so much time working on. The kids deserve game day because in football, it's so much more practice than it is games. It's the only youth sport that's designed like that. If you don't give the kids the game experience, the grind of the weekday practice is hard. It's a lot.
Breaks you down a little bit. Breaks you down.
should we talk some ball?
Yeah,
Let's talk ball.
Let's talk ball.
Hey, so I have a couple questions for you. Going off to the first game on the Sunday slate out in, were they in Dublin?
I believe
London?
they
Or
were across the pond. They
They
were
were somewhere
not in
across the
America.
pond, somewhere on
International.
international soil. Thoughts on Dylan Gabriel's performance, debut, and then also go ahead. Let's start with that one because the other one will be a much loaded.
Yeah,
question.
the game was in London. Minnesota and Cleveland was in London. So we had Minnesota and Dublin, and then they flew. So they're the first NFL team to do back-to-back international games. So they were kind of like the pilot.
Yeah.
Of okay, what would this look like if we had people double up and play overseas in consecutive weeks? So Minnesota volunteered. They played Pittsburgh in the game we did in Dublin. Then they flew to London, spent the week, played another game. Then they'll come home and have their bye week. I caught that game. We were traveling to the stadium for our 1:00 kick when that game was on. I caught probably half of the game in the booth, just getting ready for it. And so I saw bits and pieces of Dylan Gabriel. I saw bits and pieces of the game, went back and forth. I think he was okay, right? I think there's going to be a lot of speculation. There's going to be a lot of, scrutiny about how he's playing, of course, with Shedeur, and should Shedeur be the guy, and all the antics this week in the locker room once they named Dylan the starter and what that all looks like. But I think we have to give a little bit of grace and understand that offense is a work in progress. That offense is going to have some struggles. Now, all of a sudden, putting in a rookie quarterback is not all of a sudden going to make all of that go away. I thought they played competitive. Their defense is nasty, but I thought Minnesota, considering how many guys they were down in the offensive line, they made just enough plays, obviously, to pull it out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought Dylan played okay. There were some inaccurate throws that he did have. Had some moments. We got to talk to our boy Njoku. Hey, if he don't get the ball, I'm watching the tape. He throws up his hands.
Yeah,
every time. If he has a
that's
throw,
how you want your receivers, but I know he's a tight end. So
you
want your receivers
but
to be a little more diva-ish.
I'm sure, like Greg will take. Greg was a phenomenal tight end. I like your tight end out there, like your best, like your number one guy is out there, like throwing up his hands like this. If it's a tough throw, he doesn't give him the ball,
especially with a rookie quarterback making his first start.
Right,
it's like give him
right.
Like you saw Justin Jefferson a few weeks ago with JJ McCarthy on his first start. even though it wasn't going the way they wanted to the fourth quarter, JJ's like, or Justin Jefferson is like, hey, I've got you. We're going to be all right. It's going to be all good. Ends up pulling it out at the end. What was
and again, over the course of time, I'm sure in 14 years, there's clips of me having a reaction or throwing my head back if I thought I was open. I'm sure it happens sporadically for everybody. You just don't want it to become, you don't want it to become consistent. You don't want it to become continuous, that over and over, every time you don't get the ball, your body language turns to shit. Like, you don't want to be that guy. Quarterbacks don't trust that guy. Every now and then, are you going to have a weak moment, a moment of frustration? Of course. It just can't become a habit. Yeah. Because that's when the quarterback looks at you and he's like, hey, man, shut up. Like, enough.
Right.
I see it. It's disrespectful. It's making me look bad. It's making all the attention about you. So you got to be careful. You don't ever want to be in a position where you show up your quarterback. So yeah, have I ever done it? Probably. Would I be proud of it? No. And would you want to do it over and over again? That you can't have.
Yeah, absolutely not. My second question was going to be, what do you feel like the conversation looks like now for the Vikings at quarterback? I thought Carson Wentz played pretty well, and obviously having that game-winning drive, driving at 80 yards there to win the game. What do you think the conversations are like for Minnesota right now going into the bye week?
Yeah, I think this bye week is going to be really interesting. They lost a close one. They had the ball with a chance to at least go down and tie against Pittsburgh the week before, and he took a bad sack grounding call, and it kind of derailed the end of the game. So they end up losing, and then it's like, oh, we can't wait for JJ McCarthy to get back. And then they go and they pull off the late game comeback against arguably one of the best defenses in the league in Cleveland. And so obviously Wentz comes through when they need it, and they pull out a win without their starting right tackle, their starting center, and their first round left guard or right guard, Jackson from Ohio State. So down 3 starting offensive linemen, overseas, back-to-back games, and you do it against a really good defense, and obviously Myles Garrett, arguably the best defensive player in the league. So good bounce-back game there for Carson Wentz. I think Kevin O'Connell's a stud. But yeah, they've got a question on their hand. They've got a situation on their hand, right? Like, what is that balance? I think every organization goes through it. What is the balance between being competitive in this very moment, which we all know is the NFL? This is a results-oriented business. You have to win today. Versus JJ McCarthy, who in their mind is the quarterback of the future, both tomorrow and how many years. So I don't have a great feel of what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'll be honest. I don't have a great feel for it. I think JJ McCarthy's a really good player. I think he can have a really good career in this league. I like him as a kid. I like him as a guy. Every time I've talked to him, I've walked away like really impressed with just his presence. But I'm not sure if Carson Wentz has done enough to not continue to play.
I'm with you.
I don't know.
It's
I don't
almost
have a great
like,
feel.
What's the most important goal this year? Is it winning football games? To me, if it's winning, it's Carson. And Greg, when you go on watch his tape too, I think Carson does he throws a good ball. He's getting out of trouble very well. He keeps his eyes downfield. He's throwing the ball. He's ripping it before guys are getting out of their breaks. So they're right there. They're right there, and it's tattooed right on him. He throws a good 50-50 ball to Justin Jefferson, to where, I don't know, maybe, you're JJ McCarthy, any young quarterback, you think, okay, I have Justin Jefferson, let's give him a shot. Right. But times where it's like he's clearly covered and he throws great 50-50 balls. I think Carson Wentz is the guy. If you're looking at, if the goal is winning games this season, in my opinion, it's Carson Wentz. If it's the development and throwing everything into the future, then obviously that's where the decision with JJ McCarthy would come from. But I feel like Carson's played some good football, man.
I think you're in a position, you're in the best possible situation if you're the Minnesota Vikings, because you can actually have both. Like, what is Kevin O'Connell? The whole theme around Kevin O'Connell this year is look what he's done with these backup quarterbacks. If I'm Minnesota, I'm secretly giving it to a beat writer that publicly JJ McCarthy is a bust. Let the world know that JJ's a bust. Once he's a bust and everyone says he's a bust, he'll now be good because Kevin O'Connell will make him good. That's how it works.
It's like the Kevin O'Connell School for Rehabilitated Quarterbacks.
Exactly. That's what they need to do. Carson Wentz, let him play, make it seem like JJ's a bust. He's done. Something will happen. Maybe Carson Wentz, he has a little enky, a soft tish happens later in the year. JJ comes in, big time playoff run. Oh my God, they're in the NFC Championship.
I feel like Carson, he's much more equipped to play that game at that second level, at that extra gear.
Yeah, he's done
And
it.
see-
I mean,
yeah,
people
yeah,
forget
yeah,
he was
yeah.
MVP. He was MVP, either MVP or MVP caliber guy, and then his team ended up winning the Super Bowl. He tore his ACL. Nick Foles ended up taking over. Like, he is a guy, and he's been sitting, resting, learning, playing on multiple different teams.
Yeah.
Like, he is an absolute stud. So
Yeah.
he'll probably play himself into a starting quarterback, whether it's Minnesota or somewhere else next year, just like Sam Darnold, just like Daniel Jones, just like all these guys. So it's impressive. For the game that you called, Cowboys Jets, are we sitting in a situation now where Dak Prescott is a MVP frontrunner guy at this point?
Oh, he's I mean, front runner, probably debatable. Is he in the conversation? Without question. He's in the 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what he did yesterday. Okay, now I understand the Jets have not been good and they've yet to win. Defensively, they're not bad, right? Like defensively, that is not a historically bad defense or at the bottom of, they're at the bottom of some categories,
got
but they're not
names.
like, you don't go into that game saying, oh my God, the Jets are horrible. The Dallas's defense was 32nd in the league. They were historically bad in a lot of categories. And Dak went into that game on the road with the worst defense in football, albeit played very well against the Jets, but that's a different conversation. Worst defense in the league through 4 weeks, statistically, missing 4 starting offensive linemen. So, I mean, Taylor, we can't find 5 linemen on a lot of teams,
Right.
let alone 9. So he went into that game with Terrence Steele and backup left tackle, left guard, center, right guard. Tyler Smith was the only other starting lineman in uniform. He did not play a snap. He was like an emergency dealing with an injury. He went into that game without CeeDee Lamb, 4 starting offensive linemen, and the worst defense in football. And it was 30-3 in the fourth quarter. And it ended up being like 37-22, or it ended up getting some garbage time points. The game was never in question. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And, what he did against Green Bay the week before where they tied in overtime, like what he did when coming back to win against the Giants at home when they had to score 40 to win because Russell Wilson went off. Like, he's done it almost every single game, and everything around him's not been perfect.
Yeah, and just bringing up the offensive lineman, like, you keep maybe 9 guys on there, and so you're bringing guys off of practice squad, plucking guys from other teams as well, putting them in uniform the week before and being like, hey, you guys got to figure it out in case you have a situation where one of these other guys go down. So it's a very fragile position to be in, especially in your quarterback to play that well. I'm blown away by him. I'm very impressed by Schottenheimer up to this point in the season, because you're right, their defense, I mean, statistically are bad. A lot of times people can say, well, statistically they're bad, but X, Y, and Z. There's no but. Like, the Cowboys defense is actually just bad. You put on the film and it seems not competitive at some points when you watch a Giants film, and then you have them go against the Packers, who are just studs, end up, Dak plays them into a tie there. I worry about the Cowboys because if Dak has an off day, they will lose. That is just how it is going to go for them. And that inevitably will happen through the drag of this season being in, only the second week of October.
Yeah, you're not going to score 37 a game.
Right.
Right. Like, I think they came into the game averaging like 28, 29, something like that. They scored 37. They scored 40 when they tied. They scored 40 when they tied
Yeah.
40.
Green Bay. So, like, you're not really, the only game they didn't particularly score a lot of points was the Chicago game. So the one thing I will say, yes, you're not going to score 30 plus every single game. There will be some games where they're going to have to, score in the low 20s. There might be a game where they score 17. That, can they win those games? Probably at this point, probably not. I will say the defense was significantly better yesterday. I think the more Diggs and Bland continue to get their legs under them. Remember, they're paying 2 big-time former All-Pro, both their corners paying top money. Both have battled injuries, lower body injuries, takes a toll at the cornerback position. Playing a lot more zone with Eberflus, so they're not really playing to their strengths in man coverage. They're starting to sprinkle in a little bit more man. They lose Micah Parsons. They lose DeMarcus Lawrence. So you start looking at some of the defensive transitions. They're not going to be a top 5 defense. They're not going to be a top 10 defense. But can they be a middle of the road average defense? And now all of a sudden, can they start winning games 24-21, 27-24? Yeah, I think that's probably the most likely scenario. When CeeDee Lamb comes back and Cavante Turpin comes back and they're not out 4 starting offensive linemen and George Pickens is coming to life and Dak, I mean, Javonte Williams, the running back, is a stud. Like,
Yeah, he's been playing well.
I just see their offense getting healthier and getting better.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Fair, very fair.
Defense have to get a lot better.
It's good that they're sprinkling more man because they're at like 96% zone at one point, and you're right. Like those two corners do great in man coverage. Like why? And you're not disguising your.
Well, it's just a bad allocation of resources, right? You're paying 2 top-tier corners, granted coming off injury, which I'm sure is part of Eberflus's plan of like, all right, let's not expose them. Bland's had the foot. Obviously, Diggs has had a couple lower bodies back to back. So like, I understand that, but we talked about this yesterday on the broadcast, and like, here's the disconnect that a lot of teams have in their approach connecting their defense to their offense. I'm a believer that I need to build my defense to mirror the strengths of my offense, right? So for years under McCarthy, with last year being the exception, there were a 30-point offense year leading the league in points, 22, 23 around then. I don't need to stop the run. I don't need a lot of big bodies. I need pass rushers and I need defensive backs because we're going to play nickel personnel and we're going to play the pass virtually the entire game, because every time you try to run the ball at me and I'm scoring 30, I don't give a shit if you run for 200 yards. You're not going to beat me, right? You're not going to have enough possessions to score 30 a game unless I just give it to you. Last year, Dak gets hurt, offense goes to the bottom of the league, and all of a sudden the warts of the defense, yes, Micah Parsons is not nearly as effective if he's not rushing the passer and so on and so forth. The defensive backs are not, granted they were hurt, they're not nearly as impactful if you're not throwing the ball 35 times a game. End of the game, you're trying to play catch up and you're throwing pick sixes to Bland and Diggs. That's what they were built. Last year, the offense falls apart and the defense gets exposed. They overcorrect on defense, right? They're saying, we don't need Micah Parsons. We need to get better at stopping the run. And now I ask, who cares how good you are stopping the run if your offense is going to score 30 a game? Mm-hmm. You better defend the pass. You better rush the passer, and you better play defense in the back end, because that's what teams are going to have to do to chase your points. So they're a little misaligned in their approach. If they can get the defense rushing the passer like they did yesterday more consistently, it will go a long way.
And like you said too, like sprinkling and playing more man, playing to the strengths of the corners that you did pay, because again, when their offense was high flying and their defense was kind of complimenting them, they were very good in the turnover category, creating takeaways, getting picks, like you said, sacks. But yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, everything you just said reminded me of the old Colts with Peyton Manning. Like you have a defense that's built to play against the pass, and you have Peyton Manning who's going to put up 30 plus a game. And so, I fully agree.
Yeah, so we're going to sit in cover 2, and Bob Sanders is going to run around the back end. And if you want to run against our soft boxes all day and you think you're going to keep pace with Peyton Manning, knock yourself out.
Yeah, go for it. Have fun with that.
And, he gets forgotten, but Pat Anger, middle linebacker, undersized, put his face on people.
It's always about the linebacker.
It always is, dude.
Greg's like,
it
Pat
always
Anger,
is.
Pat Anger. Luke Kuechly would know about Pat Anger.
Ravens. Are we too far gone for the Ravens with how many injuries they have? They have an abysmal loss this past weekend. They're going to play the Rams this week. Are we essentially having a grave ceremony for the Ravens at this point in the season?
We're certainly getting there. I didn't see any of the game, so I don't know exactly how bad it was. Obviously, I saw the box score just continue during my game.
Yeah,
we have like a box in the booth that just is like a tile of every game going on across town, across the league, and the score just kept getting more and more out of control. So I don't know exactly the context. I know Lamar threw a couple picks and whatnot, but I think big picture, a week or two ago when the world was coming to an end and they were the topic of, are the Ravens done? Are the Ravens, I kind of was like, pump the brakes. They'll figure it out. Their defense really struggled to start the year last year, and they found their way down the stretch and really got better. I think it's a combination of injuries. I think it's a combination of not playing complementary ball. I think they've got a lot going on personnel wise. They're in trouble because to lose, what was it, 40-3? Was that the score?
Yeah, no life from.
It was something like that.
It was a Cooper
against
Rush.
Houston, who they've been okay.
No, they've struggled.
40.
They've struggled a lot from the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say offensively, their defense is is very
Nasty.
Yeah,
good.
defensively,
those
they're
two
nasty.
DNs are.
Yeah.
It's just
incredible.
getting, CJ Stroud, that offense has now started to show life. That's what everybody's kind of been waiting on, because Houston
Yeah.
can be tough.
Yeah.
If that offense gets going, which they did.
Did they
against the
score
Ravens.
all 40 against
That's
Baltimore? Was it offense, or were some of those turnovers defensive touchdowns? Again, I didn't see the game itself.
All offense.
How'd they score 40? Like, was it clean offense 40, or was it a pick six, a fumble? Do you know?
Mitch is saying something
It was
back.
all offense.
all offense.
Yeah, Stroud's stat line was.
I think they had like 4 touchdowns and like 3 or 4 field goals.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it was a clean 40. I mean,
Yeah, they handled them.
that's hard to do in the league.
Yeah. I mean,
They handled them.
It's tough to see from the Ravens. I think they're also having an identity crisis on offense of what they want to be, because, Derek in the first 3 games of the season, right, he has three fourth quarter turnovers, which is, very unlike Derrick Henry. But then you get to the 4th game of the season and he has like 8 rushes the entire day. And then this game, it seems like Hill is now more the premier back as Henry, when if you're running with a backup quarterback and you're missing your left tackle and Ronnie Stanley, why not put yourself in a bigger personnel situations and run the ball downhill, control the clock, and use that to your advantage, because you have
Well, they
the
tried
back to do
They
it.
tried to at first,
But it's- you're
Houston
getting
shut it down,
away
and then
from it.
but when you're down 2 scores, when you get down 2 scores fast, and they're stopping D. Henny out of the gate, that's where it's like, yeah, I see what you mean. I think you need your starters on offense to kind of get that identity through Derek, through
Yeah.
the run game back a little bit. But yeah, they're in a very bad spot, man. They have a lot of injuries on defense.
Exactly. Well, what Will's saying is exactly the point, right? That's the complementary aspect. It's like it's similar, but the opposite of what we were just talking about with Dallas. You want to be a run heavy team with Lamar and Derrick Henry and your scheme and whatnot. You can be a run dominant team, but you better not get into a bunch of shootouts. You better not get into a bunch of playing from behind, because the only thing about the run game that keeps it in line with the passing game is your ability to generate explosive runs, right? So explosive runs are the biggest correlation to scoring points. Rushing yards are irrelevant. Rushing yards, unless it's the 4th quarter with the lead and you're just trying to convert first downs because you're playing against the clock. For the first 3 quarters of the game, how many yards you rush for is completely irrelevant. What are your chunk run plays? Because those chunk run plays have the effectiveness of a pass play.
Right.
That's where the conversation between run and pass needs to be had. It's the correlation between yards per play and scoring points. So all of a sudden now you're giving up 40, and all of a sudden your defense can't stop anybody. They can't get off the field. Teams are converting and scoring field goals or touchdowns on such a high percentage of drives. Every time your offense gets back out there, you start asking yourself, if I can't generate the explosives because they're playing me in high shells and they're putting an umbrella over the top, I'm not going to 5 and 6 yard run you to death and think I'm going to score 40 points. It's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue for these teams. And it's like, oh, they got to run the ball more. Sure, they got to run the ball more, but you better not give up 40.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't going to win.
Right, because that defense is absolutely struggling. Go ahead.
No, I should say that it's never in a isolated one side of the ball. The 2 sides complementing each other is the name of the game.
Right. Yeah. But just to push back a little bit, like rush yards do matter in the sense of the beginning of the game. You have to get to 40, right? So if you're early in the game, you're handling the time of possession, you're running the ball, you're getting yourself in third and manageables, you're keeping your defense off the field so they're more fresh. You can keep games in closer, tight-knit situations than getting blown out 40-3.
Yeah. So again, is the object to not get blown out, or is the object to win?
Objects to be in the game in the 4th quarter when you're down.
Right,
But on that
I think
compliment,
there's-
you need a defense that it's got to stop
True.
a nosebleed. Like they're getting gashed on the run. They're getting
but
gashed.
no, it's an interesting conversation about the run. Again, I'm not an anti-run guy. I believe quarterbacks need to be under center. I believe that run game under center. I think shotgun run in today's day and age in the NFL is very hard. I think it's hard on the linemen. I think under center play action is the best time to throw. Like, I'm an under center NFL advocate. I think it's easier for the linemen. I think it's easier for the quarterback. I think there's more friendly throws. I think the run and the pass game look the same. I think there's a lot of benefits. I think that's why you're seeing so many of the top offenses around the league do it. As far as rush yards, if you tell me you rush for 150 yards, my first question is, when did those yards come and how many rushes did you have?
Yeah.
If you rush for 150 yards and you ran the ball 35 times on me, I don't care. You probably didn't win. Unless I had 2 pick sixes and the game just got out of hand and you just milked the lead in the second half. Unique circumstances, but in just an offense versus offense, even even possession game, take special teams, pick sixes, punt returns, those out of normal plays. Offense versus offense. If you're not generating huge chunk plays on the ground, the 70-yard Derrick Henry runs, the 60-yard Lamar Jackson scrambles and all that, if you're just going to run the ball at 5 yards a clip, you can win the game. I'm not saying you can't, but you're most likely not going to win the game 35-30.
Yeah, that's true. But the only thing I'm saying is, if you're the Ravens and you're down this many guys and you have 6 defensive starters out, in my mind, it's like, okay, how do we get this hurt offense to help our defense out? And it's keeping our defense off the field, right?
No question.
Wear them down over and over again. Get yourself in third and manageable where the 5 yards a clip do. Yeah, you're not the goal of that situation is not to get the box score into the 30s for both team. It's to keep it in that 21-14 range. So when you're in the fourth quarter, you're outmanned from a talent perspective because you're out your starters. You are now putting you in a position to be like, hey, if a couple things go away, we can win if we do have to throw the ball. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I'm a big run the ball guy.
It makes a ton of sense. I get it. I think the question becomes, are you confident enough that you can go this slow it down, methodical, probably 10 plays? If you get the ball at the minus 30, it's probably going to take you 8 to 12 plays to score in that type of approach. You better be 80+% in the red zone. You better really be willing to use fourth down and not settle for field goals.
Right.
Like if you're going to commit to that style of game, which you're probably right. That's probably what Baltimore needs to be right now to at least not get blown out. But with that being said, you got to commit all the way. There's no 34-yard field goals on 4th and 4. You got to go for it. If you're going to spend all that time methodically going down the field and then it's just going to turn into a field goal fest, you're probably not going to lose 40-3. You're probably going to lose 30-10.
Yeah. No, yeah. I agree with that.
Is that better? Like if they lost today 28-13, do they feel better?
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think their ego feels a little better. I don't think they're any closer to being good.
Yeah. And more, it's like off of that, it's like once you go down 2 scores, it's like, let's get the lifeboats out there in the water and we got to bail. We got to jump ship.
Yeah, exactly.
What we wanted to do, you kind of need your
I think the
defense
whole
to
season
stand up
looks
a couple
different
times.
if they don't blow those couple games early, right? Like the Buffalo game, that game's in the bag. You can't lose that game. I think that was super deflating. Remind me which game you mentioned it, Taylor, the fumble of Derrick Henry. What was the other game he fumbled?
They played
late?
Detroit.
They got smacked by the Lions.
Yeah, Lions pulled away from them.
That's really it. It's really the Bills.
No, Chiefs pulled away from them, and there was one more because they're 1-4 now. What is that game?
He fumbled 3. One was the Buffalo.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Detroit. Was Detroit?
No, Detroit was in control of that game. Who else did they lose to?
I don't know. I can't.
Bills, Detroit.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, Yeah, that was it. It was Bills.
Bills, Detroit, Chiefs, and
Bills,
Houston.
Detroit, Chiefs, and Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
okay.
They're in a tough spot.
They should have 2 wins.
Did you get to watch the game of Denver and Philly at all?
I saw the end on the box because it was going on during ours, but so I saw the ending. I saw Philly took the lead. I saw Denver took the lead, went for 2. Yeah. To go up by 1.
Right.
Yep.
Then I saw they kicked a field goal to go up 4, but I didn't see the final drive. Philly had the ball down 4 at the end, right?
Yeah, and honestly, Philly was in position. They were hitting some, chunk plays to get down there quick, whether they could have a good Hail Mary or not. And then they had a pass there at the very end where it very much was a defensive pass interference call that the referees did not call. You never want to blame the refs. It's like as a team, you want to be in a better position anyway. But it was a very spicy game there at the end, and I do think a very, very failed job by the referees not calling that defensive PI. I don't know if you caught that part.
Was it on a hit? Was that how far was I saw the clip of it? How far was the Hail Mary? How far was the pass on that?
They would have been,
It would have been inside the 10.
Yeah, you would have been inside the 10 looking at a final play. You would have looked at a final play, Philly trying to score.
Where was the ball snapped from? What yard line?
A ball snapped from like their own 47, I believe.
So it was almost like a Hail Mary, just didn't get it to the end zone.
right? Wasn't it their own 47, or maybe they were in their
Yeah,
they
it
were
was
in the
like a-
I would
opponent's
love to
territory.
know in the history of Hail Marys how many defensive pass interferences have ever been called.
But this wasn't a final
Right,
play. This
that's
wasn't
a
a
good
Hail
one.
Mary final play. Like, they were still trying to get closer because they had maybe 10 to 13 seconds left on the clock. So they were trying
Got
to
it.
get closer so
It
that
wasn't a
they could
walk-off.
have, that way they could have, because it was kind of to
Yeah.
Goddard on the sideline, kind of goes back shoulder. DB's all over him, kind of grabbing his pad. There's nothing that got called. So then they did throw a Hail Mary, which, by the way, they had a shot at that Hail Mary. I think if Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown aren't both having their own frustrations on catching the ball, one of them just lets the other one catch the ball and they win. Because A.J.,
no.
they're kind of both going up for it. A.J.'s kind of tackling them as they're coming down. They drop it. But yeah, man, there's something happening in Philly. Because you look
We called it this
you
week.
look at AJ's presser after the game, where it's like AJ kind of had a double move to where there could have been a shot for him to catch the ball if he continues to stay, accelerating and running through the route. It seems like he slowed up for a moment, so the ball looks like it's overthrown. They're talking to him after the game. He's like, I'll have to look at it more, but I think it was just a miss.
Right.
And there's something there, bro. There's just something happening, and you can't quite put your finger on it. But there is something there. Because again, it's like Saquon, he only had 6 carries that game. They're trying to win through the air a little bit more.
Yeah, they're hearing the noise of everybody saying that the 29th passing offense in the league.
Yeah.
AJ Brown's direct quote was this: "From my point of view, it was just a miss." Now, I saw the clip of the double move. It did seem like AJ slowed down a little bit. I did not watch AJ's presser. I came in here and they gave me this quote, so I don't know what AJ said before or after that. But you can...
It was the vibe of AJ. He didn't want, he's like, I don't want to talk to the media.
Knowing AJ, obviously he's frustrated. Obviously he wants the ball. He's a competitor. That's all the things. But it just seems like the Eagles are very fragile regardless of what their record says right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, it's so funny. You would imagine that the teams that have had a ton of success, that everything's a little bit easier, right? You'd think their weekdays of practice are a little lighter and they're a little less on eggshells versus, the teams that haven't gotten a win. You're the Jets and, the Titans looking for their first win and they get it yesterday. And you would think that those teams feel all the pressure and that the teams that have been to 2 Super Bowls, have just won the most recent Super Bowl and have been arguably the best team, have won, I don't know, before yesterday, what were they, like 19 of their last 20 or 20 of their last 21 or something crazy like that as far as wins. It's actually funny in the NFL, like it almost flips, right? Like the more success you have, the more scrutiny, the more people are trying to dissect every move. Guys are looking to get theirs. You're losing coaches, you're losing personnel. It almost becomes more difficult when you've had that level of success. That's why you don't see a lot of teams do what the Chiefs have done or what the Patriots did or, now what the Eagles are trying to do. You just don't see a lot of it in the NFL because the greatest hindrance of future success is current success. You're over, human nature is I've had a lot of success. I deserve more touches. I deserve a better contract. I deserve these plays. I'm not getting mine. Like you're fighting that in the NFL every single day. And it's hard. And I think they're getting a little taste of it now. I think last year people didn't think Philly would figure it out coming off the year before when they kind of fell apart the end of the season. And then they go on to win the Super Bowl. So I think Sirianni's shown he can galvanize the troops and kind of keep things together. And I think there's a lot of teams around the league that would love to say, oh my God, Philly, what's their problem? And you look and they're 4-1.
Right. Yeah.
So
you bring up a good point,
anytime
though,
you're the Super Bowl champ, expectations, I don't think things are do I think they're perfect? No. Do I think their 4 wins prior were all great? No. Do I think things are as bad as maybe they're being portrayed? I don't think I'm there yet.
I would agree with you, but you also bring up good points about the Chiefs and the Patriots because whenever the noise would get loud, whether it's around losses or trying to find these little cracks in the foundation, it was such a team culture that there weren't a whole lot of the stuff that we're kind of seeing with the Philly receivers and Jalen Hurts, to where you're kind of watching this Philly team and thinking like, okay, there's that opportunity of, can you be this Chiefs Patriots type culture where everybody's kind of galvanizing around, that it's not as bad, or are you going to is the noise going to continue to creep in the locker room enough for some of this, selfishness to kind of expose the team, right?
Yeah, I think it's a great point because what's funny, they remind me a little bit of our Panthers team that we had that year. That our 2-year run there, we went to Super Bowl and we went to some playoffs and had a good run. We were. I don't mean this as so. I say this as a positive. Like we rode and depended a lot off like emotion, right? There was a very emotional team. There was a lot of energy. There was a lot of personality. So when you look at, so I kind of see a similar situation with Philadelphia, and I think it works to their favor. I think Sirianni is you watch him on the sideline, a lot of energy, a lot of emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he wears it on his sleeve, and I love him for it. I think Sirianni doesn't get nearly enough credit for the
Agreed.
job that he's done with what they, the amount of turnover and coaches and whatnot, but that's a separate conversation. I think personnel-wise, I think defensively, they got some very highly emotional guys. I think Jalen Carter is a absolute stud, loses his mind every once in a while, personal fouls. I think that sort of environment, when you're riding, it's a huge part of their success. I think they ride that emotion. They play so hard. They're physical. They're fast. They're young. I think they've got a lot of guys that are, in their first couple years in the league and still figuring out, like controlling their emotions and all that. I think those New England teams, and even now with the Chiefs, like a little older, a little bit more, we don't ride the highs and the lows, a little bit mundane, a little more boring press conferences. They don't really give as much, like just a little bit of a different style. And I think we've seen both styles work. I think, right when things aren't perfect, sometimes that emotion can kind of overflow and be seen differently. I think when Sirianni's yelling at the stands and yelling and screaming on the thing with Big Dom on the sideline and they're winning Super Bowls, it's like, man, I love that guy. He's one of us.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, if it's in a game you lose, it's a distraction. Right? It's all viewed through the end result of the game.
Isn't that wild how it's exactly what you just said. Like when things are going well, it's like, look how cool and unique they are with their energy. But as soon as it goes the opposite way, it's like, what a distraction out here. We don't need
it was
to have
us
this.
with Cam.
Yeah. I mean, that's Cam is probably the perfect example of that. Where
Great example.
He's doing the Superman thing. He's dabbing on Avery Williamson when they played the Titans, which pissed me off a lot. But it's like, hey, they're balling out and they're showing it. And then once it like kind of throws a couple of picks, maybe, things aren't going so well. Are they going to walk away from him? Everyone's like, yeah, the guy's been a distraction the whole time. It's so weird how the NFL, whether it's the media or the fans, will just recency biased on everything, which is wild. So Cam definitely got the short end of the stick with that.
Because you have to draw a conclusion on. There has to be a cause and effect.
Yep.
Right? When you're winning, it didn't matter what his dance was. It didn't matter what the coach did on the sideline. It didn't matter how you ran out of the tunnel. You won. It was fun. But all of a sudden, if you're not winning, the effect is you lost. The cause is you're not focused on the game. You're not focused. You're too worried about this, or you're too worried about your dance. You're too worried about pregame. It's all meaningless, right? Like, it's all meaningless. And I think the reality is it's just we live in that environment where there has to be a reaction to every action. And we have to draw a conclusion, good or bad, after every single game. And now the conclusion is going to be that the Eagles are in a free fall. They're 4-1. They're arguably the best team in football. They lost a close one yesterday, and they're going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the steadiness of the Chiefs and Patriots. I think now with the Eagles having an opportunity to go, whether it's back to back, kind of have this dynasty feel, we'll get to kind of see if this energy, this highs and lows will ultimately, win out in the marathon, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we know that the version of the Chiefs and Patriots that we saw whenever press conferences do get boring, they find a way to kind of handle the distractions. We'll get to kind of see that, I guess, with the Eagles.
It'll be interesting for the Chiefs today too. I mean, it's Monday right now. They're playing the Jags on Monday Night
Who
Football.
you got Monday Night Football? Jags, Chiefs. Because I like the Jags right here, Greggy. I'm telling you right now, I like the Jags. They can run the football. Takeaways.
I'll tell you, I don't disagree. I'll tell you that's a really, if you would have said when that schedule came out, if you would have said, hey, Monday Night Football is Jags Chiefs, can't wait for that game, you'd be like, are you on drugs? Like, in what world? I'll tell you what, I give a lot of credit. I think Liam Cohen's done a nice job. Trevor Lawrence playing ball. Big win, big controversy at the end of that San Francisco game. Liam Cohen going after Robert Saleh. Saleh saying he's complimenting the signs. I'm still not exactly sure what the whole point was of that whole situation. I don't know if you guys probably spent more time looking at it than I did, but like he was saying it was a compliment to Steele. I don't know the exact rhyme or reason, but like Liam Cohen, say what you want. Didn't get off to a great start with the press conference, the Duval. And I'll tell you what, man, he's got Jacksonville significantly more relevant, at least through 4 weeks, than they've been in a long time. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. This game tonight looks significantly different than it did 4 weeks ago.
Best part about this week is it's a true measuring stick where both teams are at. Are the Chiefs, after what they did against the Ravens, is that a bad defense, or is that the Chiefs are back because they got Xavier Worthy and the Jags who have been living in the shadows, and it was all Houston, but now we're looking at the Colts being like, that's the team for the AFC South. Are they going to emerge?
That's what.
That's the exciting part about
you're
all
right.
of this.
And the Chargers losing 27-10 against Washington.
Right. So
after
Chiefs
week 1,
win.
week 2, it's like, oh, the Chargers are kind of the team to beat in the AFC West. You see what Denver did out in Philadelphia. Chargers lose. Chiefs are now in that spot where this is like a gotta have a game, and it's still, even if you look at Jacksonville, it's kind of a you gotta have, because Houston's coming along now. Colts are obviously seen as a very good football
Titans
team.
got their first win, so they could get spicy all of a sudden.
Titans are back.
I know we kind of brushed over Jags and Chiefs, but I am going to move on.
Hey, who does he like? Just we can move on.
Who do you like? Who do you like?
I will never bet against Mahomes and Andy Reid.
-3. I'm the same way.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
I don't mean literally bet. I just mean pick against them.
Being in your position, can you bet? Are you allowed to bet on it? Yeah.
I've never. You want to hear? I got one good betting story. You want to hear it?
Yeah, I do.
I've bet one sporting event in my entire life. I was on spring break. We were in the Bahamas, and I went into the sports book, and it was March Madness, girls and the men's and women's. And I was like, I've never done a parlay before. So like, I'm literally that guy who's standing at the sports book, and I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do like a really elaborate parlay for like $100.
The best.
It was, so I'm betting men's games, women's games. And I think it was like a 6-game parlay, 4 men's, 2 women's, but it was the opening round. So it was like, no, it was the opening round for the women. So however that aligns with the men's, I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, I picked my 6 games. But now I'm like vested in like Creighton versus UNC Wilmington, right? Like you're watching games that you don't even know what's going on. You're praying that guys miss free throws. It's a very wild experience that I had never done before. So long story short, I'm 5 for 5. It was like $100 parlay. I was going to win a couple $1,000. I get to the last game and I picked UConn women, or one of the 1 seeds. It was like UConn women. The spread was like 58 points or something stupid. And I'm like, they're going to cover. I'm now watching a blowout of epic proportions between a 1 and a 16 in the women's March Madness tournament. It might not have been UConn. It was one of the top seeds, South Carolina or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And it's down to like the final possessions. And the spread was like 58.5. And it's like 56, 55, 58. We're missing free throws. I'm like, Fowler. I'm like yelling in this restaurant in the hotel. And I think they ended up winning by like 55. And I didn't cover. And I like went to bed beside myself. And my wife's like, are you kidding me right now? Like you're yelling at the TV and the 3rd string UConn girls or whoever it was is up 60 on a school you've never heard of before. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah. And you're pissed that you lost $100.
The problem is
$100,
you should have told your wife.
Like, I don't know. I think I was going to win like $3,000.
Trust me. I'm with you.
That's every single week. And honestly, as much parlays as we bet, we hope to be in your position where you've hit 5 out of 6, and that 6th one, you're like, please, for the love of God.
And you're cussing out the backup
right now.
Women's basketball
I'm
team.
yelling at the point guard from Missouri Tech because she missed 2 back-to-back 1-and-1. She missed the front end of a 1-on-1 with 18 seconds left.
Yeah. Dog. I feel that more than you even know. And also, if you're telling the story exactly like your wife said, they're beating them by 60, that's a good point to be like, honey, if they beat them by 60, I would have hit. So
and
that's what I'm talking about.
So
yeah.
Like,
and I would have just gave you the money. I just want to win the game. That's all I want to do. You probably didn't watch it. It was around the same time that you were calling the game, but the Titans did beat the Cardinals. And
saw it.
the way the Titans beat the Cardinals, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my entire life.
Never apologize for how you win in this
Never
game, man.
apologize for a win. Never apologize for a win. But dropping the ball, when are we going to, as a coaching staff or as a franchise, fine guys their entire salary for dropping the ball at the 1 yard line when you ran like a 40-yard touchdown?
Dude.
I mean, at some point, it's out of hand.
It's officially like an epidemic.
Yeah, it's worse than COVID.
And I feel like I've nice.
Maybe too soon. Sorry.
Never too soon. We see it. I feel like I've seen it more in college. Seeing it in the NFL is even more jarring. That you're 6 inches, maybe not even 3 inches from being up 28-6 in the fourth quarter against who at the time was in the conversation, no offense, Taylor, in the conversation of the worst team in the league.
None taken.
And the game completely flips. You go from being up 28-6 to a touchback 21-6. They get it to 21-12. Then you then intercept the ball to proceed to fumble it and have the ball kicked forward into the end zone. Like the sequence of events that happened for them to blow a 21-6 lead. I made this joke this morning on Portnoy's show. I was like, that's one of those where like if those plays happen in Madden, you're smashing your controller against the wall.
Absolutely.
Like you're just like, this is such bullshit. Like this would never happen in a real game. And then you're like, okay, I guess it does. You know what I mean? Like it's
the interception.
I don't know how you get up this morning if you're Arizona and go into the building.
My old
That's
man.
going to be a tough one to get past.
My old man, I know, is beside himself when he was watching that because he'd always teach me growing up. He'd tell me to watch Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. You run the ball into the end zone, you go hand it to the referee.
If you're the Cardinals, like your first meeting today is you go on, you put Forrest Gump on, and you watch Forrest Gump's kick return against Alabama.
Yeah.
How he just holds the ball high and tight all the way up through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is how we score touchdowns from now on.
Yeah.
I want guys to elaborately run through the end zone, holding the ball the entire time. Because it is, I don't know if there's coming back from that. I don't know if you can come back from that.
It's all tied into the celebrations.
Yeah.
Guys spend a ton of time nowadays. And again, I'm old school and I'm boring and I get it. Guys spend so much time now during the week thinking through their celebrations that they're so anxious when they're about to score because their mind originally turns to like what I have planned. They're like, we can't even finish scoring the touchdown yet.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Listen, you're never going to get guys to stop doing that. I know it's the NFL and like it's a different generation than like what we all grew up playing. So I respect that. I get it. But like, man, the second that stuff starts literally altering the outcome of the games as the coach, if you're Jonathan Gannon, if you're any coach in the league, your first 8 a.m. meeting on Wednesday, before you get into anything, players of the game, recap, highlights, whatever your Wednesday morning meeting is to start the new week. If you don't flat out lay down an ultimatum of like how we are going to act scoring touchdowns and this is never going to be our team doing this, that's a huge mistake. It needs to be addressed daily because that's just unacceptable in the NFL.
Yeah, it's bad. I know we have to get you out of here. We've kept you way too long. It's almost inappropriate, but I do want to just touch on Patriots Bills. Patriots were what, 8.5 dogs? 8.5 point dogs. We talked about it on ESPN how Mike Vrabel.
Couple of us sitting here called it.
Couple of us did.
Couple of us talked about it.
I like the subtle humble brag there, Taylor. Like, hey, when we were on ESPN, I don't know if you guys know now.
I'm glad you caught that.
That was like a really nice humble brag.
I don't know if you're up between 8 and 10 Eastern on Thursday mornings, but you can catch the boys on ESPN if you like.
Oh, trust me, boys. I see the boys. I got it.
All right. Okay.
I see the guys up there sitting at the desk with all the big swinging dicks. I see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Olofsky, Greeny, the whole thing. But we did say Mike Vrabel does a great job of breaking down quarterbacks, their tendencies and all that. They get a couple of turnovers, a couple of things go their way. They took advantage of bad football. Drake May had his coming out party, the rest of the league. The Colin Cowards, all the main guys are like, Drake May needs a couple more years. It seems like this is the game that we're like, oh, Drake May's here now. Like he's going to be a quarterback that, and we're going to be talking about, is this guy generational talent?
Oh, I think he's a generational talent. Now, whether or not he's going to be a
Agreed.
generational superstar with Super Bowls and all that, I don't think anybody could pretend to know. But from a talent standpoint, he is exactly what you want your modern day NFL quarterback to be. He's a pocket quarterback who can run, will run, both designed and scramble run and scramble pass. He's incredibly smart and tough. That throw he made to Stephon Diggs, scrambled to his right, on the run, guy in his face, puts the ball on the white. Stephon Diggs obviously does a great job dragging his feet, going down, hands catch through contact. The degree of difficulty of that throw, if that ball's thrown 2 feet out in front, he's out of bounds. If that ball's thrown 2 feet behind him, it's a PBU. For him to put that ball on the front shoulder pad, only where Stephon can catch it low and away on the sideline to set up a touchdown. Those plays, there's like 3 guys in the league maybe that can make those throws. So I think from a talent, from a mentality, from an approach, he's very mature. He grew up in Charlotte. I've watched him play high school basketball. I watched him. He went to a public high school 10 minutes up the road from my house. He's been a stud of a kid, and his reputation about just who he is and the way he carries himself and his maturity on top of just his physical skill set has been well documented since he was young. Went to North Carolina, probably didn't get the love in the college football scene. If he played at Ohio State or he played at Texas or he played somewhere else, probably would have been a more buzzed about player, but obviously drafted where he was. He's a flat out stud. Huge win for Vrabel. I still think Buffalo is good, but listen, it was the perfect storm. Your quarterback played his ass off. The Bills made a couple mistakes to keep you in the game. You needed to keep it somewhat low to middle of the road scoring, and they found a way at the end. You make a long kick. Like, that's the recipe to pull off upsets. Every box they checked, and Drake May is probably the biggest box because he was incredible.
Yeah. Greg, you are the man, bro. Thank you for taking your time, bro.
Yeah.
And hanging with the boys.
I could talk with you guys all day. You're hanging with the boys. I just wish I was in the bus.
Because I got to see the whole vlog stuff, collabing on posts with Bussin, so all of it was kind of coming across my timeline. I absolutely love it. I eat it up. I love when it's like you needed all your boys that look at you. You're like, look at me. Like, look at all your teammates. Like, I need all of your best on this play. I am obsessed with it. I love it, bro. Keep having fun and doing what you're doing. You seem like a grinder, having to travel everywhere, call games. You're doing shows. You're trying to coach an undefeated football team right now. But you're the man, and thank you for taking your time.
Bussin Productions will be giving you a call very soon.
We got to make it out.
Let's make that happen.
Vlog it.
Yeah.
We got. There's only a couple more
appreciate you guys,
games left.
man.
Appreciate
All right,
you, Greg. You have a good one. But
See
a
you,
round of
Greg.
applause for Greg as he. What a guy.